When you have nausea, heartburn, indigestion, upset stomach, diarrhea.
Use as directed. Keep out of reach of children.
Air Comfort Service, heating, cooling, and insulation. Weather.
Finally getting to see a little bit of sunshine on this Thursday afternoon, but it's cold to be out and about. 38. Tonight, increasing clouds down to 25. Friday, dry day, but a cold day again. 42. Some light rain and wet snow mixed on Friday night. It's not a big deal. 32. Slow clearing on Saturday. A couple of sprinkles and flurries Saturday night, and Sunday sunny and 45. This is 97.1 FM Talk. Chief Meteorologist Dave Murray.
Well, it's 2024. Wishing everybody a better year than last year. Wishing everybody succeed on their resolutions. Really hope somebody succeeds on their resolution. Ignore that. I don't want to be a Bertie Downer. I thought I'd save all the W's out there. But anyway, it's still cold. You still need heat. If your system breaks, remember, look me up. You saved me on your phone. If you haven't saved me on the phone, save it under Bart. If you forget my name and number, here it is. Bart Inman. The number, it's one easy number, Missouri and Illinois. The only number at Missouri and Illinois is 314-293-2600. That's 314-293-2600 or bartinman.com. That's Bart with a B, Inman with an I.com. God bless. And Happy New Year.
Okay, so you filed your taxes this year, but you know you have past IRS issues. And now the IRS letters are coming. Hi, this is Lance Story with the Lance Story Law Firm. Don't ignore those IRS letters. They're important and give you rights and deadlines to defend yourself. Waiting could cause you to lose those rights. Call the Lance Story Law Firm now and let us help you get ahead of the IRS and defend your rights while you still have time. The Lance Story Law Firm is located here in St. Louis, so take the first step and hire a tax resolution attorney. We've made it super easy to schedule your free consultation in person, or you can do a phone call and save travel time. Remember, IRS problems are legal problems. So before you send money to some out-of-town, high-pressure salesperson, give us a call at the Lance Story Law Firm. Call today at 314-260-6120. That's 314-260-6120. Or go visit LanceDruryLaw.com.
The choice of a lawyer is an important decision and should not be based solely upon advertisements.
Happy New Year from Grill Master Tony Stone. Mark Cox here for my friend Tony. You know, it is a new year. Maybe you've got some football playoff parties planned. Think of Tony Stone. Maybe your corporate Christmas party got delayed until January. Tony Stone can cook for you, set it up, or just deliver it to the office and you can set it up for yourself. Whatever your needs are, Tony Stone's got you covered. All of his prices are right online. Order today. It's GrillmasterTony.com.
Staples Print Big Sale means the more you print, the more you save. Get $20 off your print purchase of $100 or more, $50 off your print purchase of $200 or more, and $100 off your print purchase of $300 or more. Ends 2/10/24. See staples.com/print for details. Print more, save more at Staples.
The only person who can change your life is you, but you need to know how. Listen to my show, The Del Walmsley Radio Show, where the hype ends and the help begins.
Listen to the Del Walmsley Radio Show this Saturday afternoon from 1 to 2 p.m. on 97.1 FM Talk.
The Annie Frey Show YouTube live chat poll of the day is sponsored by Ruler Foods. Low prices, no coupons. Ruler Foods.
That is exactly what I needed to hear.
Thank God someone here knows what you're talking about.
That's us. That's right. Gotta love this American ride.
You need to take the time and get the full picture.
Don't get me wrong, I love the ladies. I mean, they rev my engine, but they don't belong in the newsroom. It is Anchor Man, not Anchor Lady.
What do you want from me? I'm not America's sweetheart.
Goodness sake, kid. Keep your voice down. Your father's listening to the radio.
I'm not America's sweetheart.
This is the Annie Frey Show.
Welcome to the Annie Frey Show. It's so good to be back. I am Annie Frey. If you haven't heard my voice in a while, I just want to make sure you remember who you're listening to. But it is good to be back. I'm really excited about that. I put something up on Facebook last night, and I was talking about how I am not excited. I'm not like super excited to shake all the Christmas stuff off. There's kind of a reluctance that goes along with the idea that that Christmas is over, and there's just I've realized coming into my 40th year, which, guys, I turned 40 in 2024. I don't even want to talk about that right now. It's been on my mind. I'll put it that way. Many of you have probably entered into your 40th year, and you know what I'm talking about. I would like your advice for turning 40. Please share it with me, and I'm probably going to ask you that for the next 4 months because I turned 40 in April. Anywho, I was not sad to come back. It's like more sadness about having to take the Christmas decorations down, which I haven't done yet, but I will this weekend, and not being at home with my kids, who are still off school, by the way. Holy cow. I was not sad to come back. And I thought, gosh, I just wish that there was something that we could talk about. I wish that something would happen that would make it easy to come back in. And they're like, how about the Epstein list? I'm like, okay, that'll do. I'll allow it. Can we check the sound folder in Google Drive? Make sure my sound's in there. I am looking through and combing through. Okay, when the Hillary emails, when they were released on WikiLeaks, I spent a lot of time, a lot of hours combing through those emails and reading them for myself. And it was pretty eye-opening to see the way people communicate with one another. You know how you communicate with one another. You know how you email people. And then you keep seeing these stories about, emails have been released, or somebody's emails got hacked, or somebody's text messages or DMs or whatever get hacked. And you're like, I should probably reconsider how I talk to people in such a short manner in communication. So I understand that if you know somebody well, if you work with someone a lot, you might respond back and forth with minimal conversation. It can't be a complete depiction of who you are as a person. Some of the testimony that is coming out of the Epstein list regarding specific people who are listed there, it's pretty horrific. It's actually it's terrible. And we all sit here and we all wait to see what happens next. I can't stress enough how you can't rely on a tweet that is out there right now, a post. You can't rely on somebody putting something on Twitter and confirming what you've been suspicious of for years and years now about people who are on this list. Brad, I would not say that the list that came out, I would say that there are grotesque details that paint a deeper picture of what actually happened on Epstein Island, but there aren't really any major bombshells about wrongdoings of people associated.
Yeah, I would describe it that way. I mean, there are some eye-opening names that you saw in there. You'd be like, wow, I didn't see that name coming. But there's also, like, some people's names that you see as you're scrolling through Twitter. It's like their name was mentioned in there, but sometimes it was just the lawyer asking the witness if they talked to this person. Did you see this person? No.
And the answer is no.
Yeah.
So it's fair to say, it's fair to mention a name, because if you did a search through the 948 pages or whatever it is, and you search their name and then it pops up, the very presence of the name in these documents does not implicate anybody in any wrongdoing. Now, here's the part of the Epstein list of what we know so far, and I don't know how many layers there are to this onion. Brad, do you remember before I went on Christmas break, before we all took the holiday time off, I kind of threw the story out. I'm like, hey, so isn't it crazy that there are people who are in jail and have been in jail because they've been convicted of sex trafficking?
Yes.
On this island.
Yes.
That is not conspiratorial.
Right.
That happened.
For sure.
In addition to that, we know of very high-profile people who have been involved in it. The question is to what extent, and the other more grotesque question that I'm not even 100% sure I want the answer to is, what was the full service that was provided to these people? If they're sleeping with 17-year-old girls, if they're sleeping with 13-year-old girls, if they're doing other things, because that's alleged in a lot of conspiracies, that it's much deeper and darker than anything that we've publicly confirmed. But the idea before Christmas of what was known factually to be true which is child sex trafficking by Jeffrey Epstein. And this idea that Ghislaine Maxwell, and I've been practicing all these names, they're all difficult names, except for Jeffrey Epstein, which some people said Epstein at one point, so maybe it is difficult. We know that they were doing something that is, I mean, it's punishable by criminals in jail.
Yes.
The only honor among thieves seems to be taking care of the Jeffrey Epsteins of the world.
Yeah, I would agree with that sentiment.
How is it that we can culturally, and I'm warning myself, folks, so join me in this or don't. It's up to you. How is it that we can boil down the consequence and the gravity of the Epstein list into simply how bad is Trump implicated in this and how bad is Bill Clinton? I'm repulsed by the political jockeying that is taking place. I understand that it's inevitable. I understand that there isn't going to be a scenario where in this hyper-political world, in the year 2024, mind you, that we are going to have some big bombshell like this come out and then not talk about the political fallout of all of it. Folks, there are people who are named in these documents with descriptions of the horrific things that they were doing to young girls and the servitude that these underage girls had to Ghislaine Maxwell and Jeffrey Epstein. And at one point, I can't remember which one it is. I think it's Giuffre. Is that how you say it? Virginia Giuffre? She is saying, the questioner is asking her something about where Maxwell sent her. Did she send you here? Did she send you there? And her response is essentially, I just want you to understand that it wasn't she who was sending me there. It was they who were sending me there. It was always the two of them. It wasn't like she was doing these things in any way, shape, or form outside of the pairing of Jeffrey Epstein and Ghislaine Maxwell. And I am thinking about if culturally and societally, if we actually had the spotlight squarely on avenging these young girls and bringing truth into the light, whomever that affects, be damned. If we were actually focused on the terror that these young girls were subjected to, then the political stuff would sort itself out. We wouldn't have to jockey and say, yeah, you know, Donald Trump this and Bill Clinton that. Because honestly, the involvement of Donald Trump in any of these documents is incredibly minimal.
Mm-hmm.
And I've seen a lot of people say this on Twitter. I thought it myself. I don't know where it came from first, but credit to whoever said it first, whomever you are out there. If Donald Trump were guilty of the things that people want him to be guilty for. They want Donald Trump. They need Donald Trump to have sexually assaulted underage girls so that they can win a political battle. Think about that for a second. Like, walk away from it. This is the proverbial phrase that people say that makes me want to jump off a bridge. Let that sink in. I hate it. Like, here, I know you're thick-skulled. Just give it a minute. That's what I'm doing to myself. They need Donald Trump to hang for something, anything. It doesn't matter even what percentage of it is actually true. The illusion has been valuable to them the entire time he's been in the political spotlight. And then in the midst of everything that they fabricate about Donald Trump, we are just dismissing what these young girls were put through because the names aren't necessarily as familiar to us. That's outrageous. It's insanity. And then you bring in Bill Clinton and you understand, yes, the headline is, at least as far as the girls he likes them young. Okay, but there's nothing in those documents that directly implicates Bill Clinton. Neither Bill Clinton or Donald Trump in those documents that we have read so far have been proven to have done any of the things that the politicos out there were kind of hoping would happen so that they could use this as the nail in the coffin. I am disgusted by the whole thing. It's honestly actually somewhat impressive that Donald Trump's history on being in the lot of everybody who he associated with as a businessman, as a mogul, as a highfalutin playboy in New York, especially with the real estate environment he was in. It's actually impressive to look back on his associations with Jeffrey Epstein and know the natural conclusion of it, which was for him to kick Jeffrey Epstein to the curb. Should he have done it sooner? Probably. Do I think that Jeffrey Epstein is probably the only salacious person that Donald Trump associated with in the course of his time as a businessman in New York City? No. And when I look at politicians who travel the world, especially after they've been in office and they become very wealthy, and the people who they talk to and the things that the countries that they go and do talks in pay them to do, and you see how they become wealthy off of their presence, there's a lot to be disgusted about. And that tale is one that repeats itself over and over and over in the political world. But when we're talking about the Epstein list, the people who we should be caring about protecting the most are these young girls. And in the midst of all of the political jabs and crosses and everything that's going to be thrown around now, and I assume, Brad, is it your understanding that, like, this is layer one, there's more to come?
Yeah, this was originally, because when last week when Wrecker was hosting for you, he was excited for 2 days straight that he was going to get to report on this. And there was a court document or a court case that, delayed that. So there's some more names that were released that weren't released, that were redacted on this dump that could come out. So this is like layer one. This is court documents. This is transcripts of testimonies and flight logs and just mountains and mountains of evidence that was presented in court that has now been released to the public. So it's not like, hey, here's a list of everybody that was on Epstein Island. That's not what this was. So there's more layers to this, and I imagine there's more to come out.
And we'll be there to cover it. And Hans von Spakovsky is going to cover it with us when we come back. I'm excited to talk to Hans. There are about 700 topics that I could throw at Hans. And the Epstein list is the first one I'm going to ask him about. I'm also going to, if we have time, discuss with him briefly the Trump challenge and the Trump ask of the Supreme Court to get on the Colorado issue. What's going on in Maine with the ballots there? I mean, good grief. I've been gone for a long time. I didn't even count the days. But I did miss you. I hope you missed me too. If you're listening to me right now, then thank you for being here. If you're not listening to me, then what are you thinking, silly? Those people aren't actually listening. You see what I did there? Appreciate you being here. The YouTube live chat poll, I want your comments and feedback on this. If you got a minute, join us on the Annie Frey YouTube channel and grade your outlook on 2024. A, B/C, D, or F, and your comments will feature them throughout the show on the Ruler Foods YouTube live chat poll. Hans, when we come back.
This is the Annie Frey Show. Find the podcast, on-demand audio, and more at 971talk.com/Annie.
So if you have made those New Year's resolutions to do two things, save money or lose weight, Ruler Foods is an answer for both of those. First and foremost, because I'm going to tell you, they have great deals on produce. And a lot of times when you start eating healthy again, it involves a lot of produce. And you can trust Ruler Foods to provide you with great produce. We buy it in our house as well. RulerFoods.com is the website where you can go type in your zip code and finally see what I've been talking about for so long. Ruler Foods has been such an amazing supporter of this show and of our communities. And when you shop there, you are supporting the show, but you're also supporting your own wallet, which might be that other New Year's resolution you've made. If you like saving money, and if you don't like saving money, what are you thinking? You need to go to Ruler Foods to do so. Heritage Farm boneless, skinless chicken breasts or chicken wings, $2.49 a pound. My husband bought some chicken wings from there and smoked them, and now he's obsessed with it because he got a new smoker. 8-pound bags of navel oranges or 5-pound bags of Gala apples, $4.99 each. Also, Hunt's pasta sauce or Kroger pasta, way to save, 10 for $10. Shop at Ruler Foods by going to rulerfoods.com.
Hi, this is Thomas Helbig with the Retirement Advisory Group.
Hi, I'm Bob Kershaw. As a family business, we are committed to protecting your retirement, whether you're nearing retirement or already retired. What if it were possible? to protect you from market downturns without having to make an emotional decision to buy or sell? What if you could take advantage of a strategy that would automatically take you out of harm's way during the bad years and position you for the growth opportunity during the good years?
The secret is in linking safely to the market without putting your principal at risk. By linking to the market instead of owning the market, you can participate safely on autopilot and lock in your gains without creating a taxable event. Go online at retirementkey.com for a no-obligation retirement review. We'll teach you the strategy that has helped our clients retire with confidence for the past 38 years. And just for coming in, you'll get a copy of our latest edition book, Your Key to a Worry-Free Retirement. So go online at retirementkey.com. That's retirementkey.com.
What I'm about to share is something we don't talk about often enough, so I'm just going to say it. We apply deodorant to our armpits every day. It's a part of the routine, right? So why do we put up with odors on other parts of our body between showers? It's time you discovered Lumi Whole Body Deodorant for pits, privates, and beyond. I tried it, and I noticed a difference right away, everywhere. Lumi was developed by an OBGYN. It's clinically proven to control odor for 72 hours. Since Lumi, I never have to worry about body odor ever again, and that reassurance is worth every penny. Lumi has over 300,000 five-star reviews, and a 60-day money-back guarantee means you can try Lumi risk-free. Give Lumi Whole Body Deodorant a try and start controlling your body odor better, everywhere.
There's a special offer for listeners. Use code RISKFREE and get an extra $5 off a Lumi starter pack, and ships free with code RISKFREE. LUMEdeodorant.com, code RISKFREE, and get an extra $5 off a Lumi starter pack. That's LUMEdeodorant.com, code RISKFREE.
You're listening to the Annie Frey Show live from the Air Comfort Service Heating, Cooling, and Insulation Studio. Air Comfort Service is proud to support Greater St. Louis Honor Flight. Sign your veteran up for the Honor Flight today at gslhonorflight.org. And for heating services, visit aircomfortservice.com.
Conservatives Care supports organizations making a difference in our community. Kim St. Ange here. USO Missouri serves active, reserve, and National Guard military members and their families throughout the St. Louis Metro and Kansas City. Learn how you can support their mission at 971talk.com/care.
How many miles must it take to...
This is the Annie Frey Show. Follow Annie on Twitter at Annie Frey Show.
How many hours must we wait through to hear the truth? How many moments did I trade in?
Welcome back to the Annie Frey Show. We're grateful that you are here with us on a Thursday afternoon. I'm very grateful to be back in the chair as well, so appreciate you being here with us. A reminder on the YouTube live chat poll today, you can grade your outlook on 2024. A, B/C, D, or F. You let us know what you think 2024 is going to have in store for us, and leave a comment as to why you feel the way you do. Let's get to our next guest, Hans von Spakovsky.
We the people of the United States,
More perfect.
your form of our perfect union.
Heritage legal expert Hans von Spakovsky.
Well, Hans, Happy New Year to you. Great to have you back on the show.
Well, thanks, and same to you.
I said earlier in the show, 20 minutes ago, I was really hoping on my first day back they'd give me something to talk about. And they're like, here's an Epstein list. Go for it. And I was reading through the news last night, and I didn't feel like there was anything that was jarringly new information that they've come across so far. But I wanted to get your take, legally speaking, on what it is that people are actually reading through. What are these documents that have been released, and what are the implications for people who might be named in them?
Well, in 2015, one of the teenage girls who apparently was recruited by Epstein, the very rich guy who was convicted of soliciting child prostitution and whose girlfriend is now in prison for child sex trafficking, actually filed a defamation lawsuit against the girlfriend, the one who's now in prison. And the case was settled in 2017, which is a long time ago.
Yeah.
But at the time, all of these documents, all of these emails, email communications between Epstein and the girlfriend and others were sealed by the court. And what has happened is that the court, all these years later, has finally ordered all these documents to be released. And a set of the first, I think, 40 some odd documents, there's probably something like 200, 250 of them, have been released. And it turns out there were all kinds of people who went on these trips in Epstein's private plane, and the most prominent of which, of course, is Bill Clinton. And in fact, there was even a photo released of Bill Clinton on one of these trips getting a massage from this very young lady who has been involved in this. So that's what's starting this. By the way, there's only a passing reference to Donald Trump. There's no indication that Donald Trump went on any of these trips. And in fact, apparently, Donald Trump and Epstein had a falling out a long, long time ago, many years ago, because they both bid on a mansion down in Florida, and Epstein was mad when Trump won and bought the mansion. But the biggest person mentioned, the most prominent probably, is Bill Clinton.
Hans von Spakovsky with us right now, senior legal fellow at the Heritage Foundation. Before we went on Christmas break here, I remember reading the story where the judge had said, it was like maybe early first week of December, and this judge had said, you know what, we're going to release these. And we talked a little bit on air about how, like, there are so many memes and honestly kind of jokes around Epstein didn't kill himself. But the idea of what actually took place on Epstein Island on the Lolita Express's airplane and what Jeffrey Epstein, we know that he was actually involved in, is actually horrific. And
it is.
It's kind of amazing to me that we've gotten this far. We're getting some more information now with this release. But why is it that people aren't more wrapped up, at least the media, wrapped up in getting to the bottom of the story about what actually took place?
Well, frankly, I think it's because of the fact that most of the very prominent individuals who are mentioned in these documents, and it includes not just Bill Clinton, but corporate heads of corporations and others, most of them are big liberal Democrats. And so I don't think the media wants to talk about this and the fact that they were going along on trips. Epstein not only had a private jet that took people on trips to other countries, but as you mentioned, he had this private island where he and his girlfriend, Ghislaine Maxwell, were apparently recruiting teenage girls to go along on these trips and to go to this private island. And I mean, we can just unfortunately imagine the kind of things that were going on there.
So in your estimation, Hans, what percentage of information does the public now have versus what might be released in the future? Is this the tip of the iceberg, or is this going to be the meat and potatoes of the release of the Epstein files?
Well, no, right now it looks like only about 20% of the documents have been released. So we don't know what else is going to come out. Look, it's already been quite a scandal, particularly because of the way Epstein, he did kill himself in prison, but, you know, he was indicted a long time ago down in Florida by the U.S. Attorney's Office, and he was given a sweetheart deal by the U.S. Attorney down there at the time, a guy named Alex Acosta. And when the details came out about the easy way he was let off for his child exploitation, it caused and led to Alex Acosta being forced to resign as the head of the U.S. Department of Labor, which he was during the Trump administration. But Alex Acosta actually had started off in the Bush administration with several different positions there, including being a U.S. attorney in Florida.
We're speaking with Hans von Spakovsky right now. I'm eager to see what else comes out of this current release and then the future releases when we are to get those. But I want to shift gears with you a little bit because being gone for almost 2 weeks, there's so much to cover in that amount of time, even Christmas being in the middle of there. Currently, the Trump attorneys, I'm going to read this from Fox News, filed what his campaign called a powerhouse motion on Thursday, calling for a federal judge to hold special counsel Jack Smith in contempt of court for allegedly, quote, repeatedly violating, end quote, a stay order on his 2020 election investigation. Smith's case against Trump, the 2024 GOP runner, is on pause as Trump's attorneys appeal the case and argue that presidential immunity protects him from being prosecuted. In all things Donald Trump legal challenges, we can start there, but I'd like you to walk us through kind of a reset going into 2024 of what Donald Trump is facing on the legal challenges today.
Well, look, his biggest, he's got these personal prosecutions, the criminal prosecution of Jack Smith against him. But look, the biggest issue he's got at the moment, in the immediate moment, is his removal from the ballot by the Colorado State Supreme Court and the Secretary of State of Maine. Just yesterday, the Trump lawyers filed a petition with the U.S. Supreme Court asking them to take up the Colorado case and overturn what the Colorado court did. That is probably the biggest issue that he's got, because if this isn't reversed, if what the Colorado court did isn't reversed, if what the Maine Secretary of State did all on her own isn't reversed, there are other states that will probably follow this, like California and elsewhere, to take him off the ballot, which will lead to election chaos. Plus, they have no constitutional or legal right to be doing that and taking him off the ballot. So we're going to have to really closely watch what the Supreme Court does. And look, this has got to be dealt with very quickly. And I mean, the Iowa caucuses, when are they? Just two or 3 weeks off?
A couple Mondays,
So,
yeah.
Yeah. So the election, the presidential election is about to get underway, and the Supreme Court, they don't have to take this case, but I would be very surprised if they don't. And then I think they're going to act very, very quickly and have probably the fastest docket they've had for a case in a very long time.
In your opinion, Hans, how quickly could the Supreme Court come out with a ruling on that case?
Oh, I think they could, if not this week, next week, decide to take up the case, give each of the parties a week or 2 weeks to file briefs, schedule oral arguments by the end of January, beginning of February, and then quickly issue a decision. I mean, we could get a decision within a month, which for the Supreme Court, that is so rare. That just almost never happens.
Lightning fast. Hans,
Yeah.
Thomas Massey, Congressman Massey, tweeted out on December 29th, Maine, Colorado, and other states that might try to bureaucratically deny ballot access to any Republican nominee should remember the United States House of Representatives is the ultimate arbiter of whether to certify electors from those states. Now, that's stepping into some treacherous constitutional territory that I cannot traverse myself, but I wondered what you thought about Congressman Massey's suggestion and reminder there.
Well, in fact, he's right. That is within Congress's power, and it was in the late 1800s when several states sent competing sets of electors to Congress, and it was Congress that decided which electors to count. And I think Congress could object to counting electors from the state of Maine if they have acted in violation of the Constitution to remove one of the major candidates. By the way, talk about a conflict of interest. The Secretary of State of Maine, who made this decision, Anna, you know, in 2020 what she was doing? In 2020, she was one of Maine's electors for Biden. So talk about a conflict of interest. In 2020, she was an elector who voted for and helped get Biden elected. And just a couple of years later, she, all on her own, is removing Biden's potential presidential opposition candidate from the ballot. That shows you, frankly, how unethical she is.
Every time one of these things bubbles up, a new situation like this bubbles up, you get to the bottom of who's behind it, and they're always wildly partisan every single time.
Yes.
Hans, last question about the Thomas Massey thing. The Congress that certifies the elections, is that a newly sworn in Congress, or is that the makeup of right now? So we don't know who would have the majority in the position to potentially not accept the slate of electors from a particular state.
And that is absolutely correct.
Oh boy. Man, let's not go down that road. Let's get the ballot stuff straight. Well, we appreciate you, Hans. Happy New Year to you. There's going to be so much to talk about. You're going to be necessary for that conversation as we march through 2024. So thanks for being here again with us today.
Sure thing. Nice to see you.
Yep, you as well. Bye-bye. Hans von Spakovsky, the Senior Legal Fellow at the Heritage Foundation, former FEC Commissioner and DOJ lawyer. Helpful information there. That Thomas Massey tweet. Now, I talked to some other legal minds that I respect because it was break and I didn't have an outlet to come talk to you folks about it. And their suggestion to me was like, yes, but it's not just that simple. It never was. It never is. And the left and their partisan ways it's not so obvious that they are fearful that Donald Trump might win. If Donald Trump is the pariah that they all suggest that he is, if Donald Trump is the danger that Americans alike know him to be, why are you so afraid of him winning re-election? Makes one wonder that you got to keep him off the ballot in order to beat him. All right, let's get Wiggins America in here. When we come back, do not go away. The YouTube live chat poll for today, grade your outlook in 2024. We want to know what you're thinking is coming this year. JB said, I gave an F. Election already rigged. That's why they are concerned about Biden. Why no debates? Not needed. Being a Debbie Downer. JB, turn that frown upside down. Thank you for being with us here on the Annie Frey Show. Carlo said, I picked B. With this year of change, I'm choosing to have hope. Carlo, if you're gonna have hope, just go all the way for A. If we're just willing it to be the case, let's go for an A. Jackie said B/C. Many more people are waking up, and I believe in our potential. It serves no one to hold negative outlook. Be a part of the change you wish to see in the world. Thank you, Jackie. Wiggins America. We come back.
Face to face. Face to face.
You're listening to The Annie Frey Show on St. Louis's home for conservative talk.
Now, if you are familiar with what January 1st meant in the state of Illinois regarding gun laws and all that stuff, you may already know the folks at STS Armory. If you need to know every detail, you need to know the folks at STS Armory. They're located in Pontoon Beach, Illinois. Katie and Jesse Johnson and the staff at STS Armory are my go-to for any questions I have about firearms, accessories, ammunition, laws, regulations, all of it. STS Armory, STS Armory, STS Armory, every single time. They have classes for you if you are looking to get better at your craft, and if you are looking to make sure that you have all of the safety instructions and the appropriate ways to handle, to store, to secure firearms. They have all of the things that you need, and they also have the education that you've been seeking out. Reach out to STS Armory today to schedule a ladies-only class or concealed carry basic pistol class. They also have kids and teen firearm safety and education courses that you can take and learn from the very best. If you're looking to make a purchase, make sure you give STS Armory a visit. You can call them at 618-931-GUNS, 618-931-GUNS, or visit them on location in Pontoon Beach, Illinois. Go see my friends at STS Armory. You can find them online at sts-armory.com.
The cost of education can be a burden. That's why Missouri's Most 529 program was created, to help folks save for their loved one's education. Contributions to most 529 accounts grow tax-free and are eligible for a state tax deduction of up to $16,000. Families can save for K-12, college, trade, or technical schools. To learn more, go to MissouriMost.org or type Most 529 into your search engine.
Sponsored by the Missouri State Treasurer's Office.
Grade your outlook on 2024. Is it an A, B, C, D or F? I think we're going to see a lot of extremes. That's my guess, but this is up to you. This is the Annie Frey YouTube live chat poll. Let us know what you're feeling here as we get back in the swing of things in the normal routine going into 24. Grade your outlook on 2024. The time right now, 12:42. This time check is sponsored by Jerry Kelly Heating and Air Conditioning.
It's time for a $98 furnace tune-up.
What's happening now is happening here, and we're talking about it. On St. Louis's home for conservative talk, 97.1 FM Talk. The Annie Frey Show is streaming online. Watch us live on YouTube and subscribe.
Welcome back, everybody.
Thank you.
And Leah, too. Hello.
You've been here.
Yeah, I've been here quite a bit. Leah was here, I think, almost the whole time.
I heard great things.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh.
About Leah.
Oh. I was like, did you hear them from me or from somebody else?
Yeah, were they about
the general public?
Leah's been sending her DMs. I've been doing great.
So Brad came back a couple days ago.
Yep,
I was
Monday.
here for a day, and then I was gone for
Tuesday.
a day. But now this is the full team back, so I just wanted to see before we jumped into this, and this is a tip for the year we're going to jump into here for a minute. But how did your break go? Was it productive? Was it restful? What did you want it to be, and what was it?
A+.
A+.
Yeah. Restful. I
Okay.
did laundry, which is productive, but it doesn't feel like that because those kids keep wearing clothes.
Yes, they do.
It's awful.
One of the nice things about break, though, is that you can keep putting them in the same clothes over and over and over.
You don't have to do that if they don't ever change.
That's right. That's right.
I looked at I'm not going to tell you which kid. But I was like, when was the last time you showered? And child says, I don't know, a few days ago. I'm like, you do not get to go few days. And if you're saying few days, that means you don't know.
So this was Molly.
It was Molly. Yeah. Yeah. I don't know.
Get in the shower.
I feel like the Christmas show and playing X's and O's with all the kids in here was 7 years ago.
That does seem a lifetime ago. But I think that was the last time we were all in studio together, wasn't it?
Yep.
Brad, break. Was it intended to be restful? Was it intended to be productive? Which was it?
It was intended to be productive, and I describe it as, been jokingly describing it as the break of that would be the break equivalent of the 2023 St. Louis Cardinals season. So I had a whole bunch of stuff that I wanted to get done, and I just hit roadblock after roadblock after roadblock. But then I would also say that in the offseason, the Cardinals made some good moves and signed some good players, and the break actually ended with some really good news and a couple
Who'd you
things
sign?
going well.
Did you get a new dog?
Walt? No.
Did you get a first-class pitcher at least?
Yes.
Okay, good. Leah, you. Last one before we move on here, because I got some tips here. This is all leading in. How was your break?
I wasn't on a break.
Thought that's kind of what you were going to say.
What does that mean?
He was talking about your lunch break.
Yeah.
It was good.
How was your lunch break?
I'm going to go get cake later.
Yeah.
Great. You still heating up your sandwiches?
Yes.
Okay.
That's something.
I microwave my sandwiches, people.
The Christmas time, it's just this kind of purgatory for people in the media business. Chances are a few of you might have dipped out over the course of time where you were trying to remember what day it was. We get it. We understand it. In some cases, we're encouraged to take time off that way at the same time so that we're not taking as much time off when everything is firing on all cylinders. But for someone like Leah, you got to go head first, and it was sink or swim. Like, for you to be able to have that time and not honestly be overlooked by, I'm sorry that Ryan was there, which is probably
for
slave
a good
driving.
portion of it.
No, but I mean, for you to be able to do it and have to do it, that's usually a really good opportunity for growth for somebody like you, and I'm sure Ryan was very helpful.
I got to tell you, I was not here every day that you were running the board, But the days that I was here, you did a great job.
Thank you.
Yeah, there weren't a lot of like, oh no, what's happening moments, and that's really all you have to avoid when you're on the board.
Except speaking of Wiggins America, what were you gonna say?
Oh, I was just gonna say, except for that one time the other Ryan muted his mic and
That wasn't you.
we had dead air. And
Yeah.
I was like,
That was not you, but that was panic. I understand. That was a moment. So the reason I'm asking you guys, whether you had a productive break or a restful break or really even what your intention was, and just to fill you in, my intention was to have a very productive break, just cleaning out. I do this once a year, and really I only do it about once every 2 years, like a full-on clean out the furnace room, but it took me 4 days. And I got up yesterday, which was still a day off for me. Got up yesterday, and I just went right in there and just kept going. And, man, it was so satisfying just cleaning out the furnace room.
Did you get a dumpster?
No, I didn't do that, but I did call the big trash pickup people, and we threw so much on the curb, and it was like, oh, look at all that was in here. It's no longer in the house.
I've gotten a dumpster before. It is the most satisfying thing in the world. It's like once you have gotten in, you're like, gosh, I don't know. That's a big dumpster. I don't want to throw my things in there. And pretty soon it's like, all right, one of you kids is going. Let's get out there and get in the like. You can't stop once. And I need a new dumpster. So taking recommendations on good dumpster companies because I need another one for some spring cleaning coming up.
Me too.
Next.
I'd love to know because it was great. It's addictive too. Once you get going, you cannot stop. And so the fact that I had one additional day yesterday, I needed it because that was I'm going to try to close this thing out, try to make sure that everything is where it needs to be because you got to take everything out, put it all back. So that was all my break, and it was very, very productive. Loved it. So the reason I brought this topic up today is simply for that reason. Now let's talk about this in terms of the show, though. Do you ever experience afternoon slumps?
Yeah, it's unfortunately poorly timed.
Well, that's my next question is what time? Because there's an ebb and flow to the show. You're on 3 hours a day. You got to lead for 3 hours. Is there a time that you feel like you are usually full of more energy than others and other times that you aren't?
Yes. I'm holding my extra shot Scooter's latte, and this is to avoid that being public.
What time is that for you?
Well, I get this coffee and I drink it between usually 11:30 and 12:30. I still have some left. I need to get going, but that keeps me energized through the show. And then if I don't have it, I will yawn during my own show. Like the show is so boring, I'm yawning. It's my show. I'm bored with myself. So,
Brad, do you ever hit that point?
Oh yeah.
Is there a typical point from noon to 3?
No, it's not during the show. It's usually about 30 minutes after I get home. From whatever. So it's not a time.
That's almost evening slump.
It's a time frame.
Yeah.
So if I get home at 3:30, 4:30, 5:30, within that next 30 minutes, I'll hit the slump. I've fallen asleep sitting on the couch before, not laying or lounging, just
such an old man thing to do.
Sitting there, and it just kind of falls asleep. You're like, what am I doing?
A skill.
I did it Tuesday.
It's a terrible.
My
skill
wife's
at
like, "You've been
6."
working for one day." I was off Friday.
Working really hard.
I was off Friday through Monday. Went back Tuesday for one day, and I fell asleep at 6 o'clock.
Man,
right there on the couch.
I didn't realize I'd missed the brain fog. But like at the end of the show, Annie talks about this. Like you hit this point and the words don't come out of your mouth.
Oh no, they come out. They're the wrong words.
That
though.
too.
That's my Friday afternoon. My kids think it's hilarious. I'm like a malfunctioning machine.
Well, one thing I did realize while being off is that this is a job in particular that I'm sure you guys will recognize also, that you do have to mentally be engaged the entire time, 100%.
Yeah.
And therefore, I get home from work sometimes, and my wife's like, "What were you doing, standing in the same spot or sitting all day?" And I'm like, "You don't understand. You are mentally engaged in a way that you cannot check out on 100% of the time."
I went to Embody Her Health, which I got a whole panel done because I am so tired all the time. And they told me, I don't know, I think did I tell this story on the air? I think I did.
I don't remember it.
Maybe. When they did the panel, they told me that I have the lowest B12 number they've ever seen.
Oh, maybe you should get some B12.
Well, apparently that comes from eating animal products, and I don't eat a ton of meat. I realize now that I'm thinking about it, how much I elect to avoid it. I don't have a problem with it. I like to eat a chicken sandwich. I'll eat a burger. I'll eat a steak. But when the option presents itself, I just opt out. And it turns out that it's very problematic. So I'm supposed to go back next week to see if what I've been doing since then is helping. But I actually think that part of my exhaustion is, I've thought of this in the last 4 weeks, that having to be mentally focused for 3 hours a day, 15 hours a week, maybe that's just the byproduct of doing that. And I think there are people out there who are doing manual labor like, come on. It is mentally exhausting.
That is also one of the things, though, that I love about this job, because I like making myself engage, making myself wake up all the time. Otherwise, I get bored. I do when I'm not at work. The average afternoon slump, they say, starts for Americans. Good news. 3 o'clock.
Yes, sorry, Reardon.
Sorry, Mark.
Yeah.
What about throughout the week? Because Americans were polled on this and had different days, but there's one day that stood out the most. Is there a day of the week that you find to be the toughest?
Wednesday.
Wednesday.
Tuesday or Wednesday.
My worst one is Monday.
Okay.
I don't have one because I take care of myself.
Dang.
No offense.
I love it when Leah outbrads Brad. It makes me so happy.
I eat properly during the day, so I don't have the slump.
You're also 26.
Yeah.
Let us all go back to what I said in the first segment, which was I'm about to turn 40 and I'm in my head about it. And now I'm like really in my head and my heart about it. Go on.
Leah, you are invited into every Wiggins America segment
Okay.
forever.
Oh my
As
gosh.
long as you can keep doing that.
I take care of myself.
Well, it wasn't directed at anybody. It was directed at
It sure
everybody.
felt like it was directed at people. I don't have that
I don't
problem.
have that because I take care of myself. I do the basic bare minimum so that I don't have that problem.
Anywho.
By the way, Tuesday.
So that's what that feels like.
What I want to say right now is I think Leah feels bad. You don't need to feel bad.
Don't.
You were just
I don't
really
think,
honest.
I don't think she does.
No?
No, I think she's fine.
When we get off the air, she's going to go, guys, I didn't mean to offend you. And we're going to say, you did offend
You
us,
did.
but it's okay. It was great radio.
Please continue.
Don't stop doing that.
Yeah, just lean into it.
I'm complaining about turning 40, and everybody in the comments like, Annie, I'll be 60 in April.
Yeah, right. I know. I said that to my mom this week. I'm like, oh, you just don't understand how much we're doing. And she's like,
I don't think you understand how much you're doing.
Tuesday was revealed to be the most afternoon slump-inducing day of the week.
Monday, you get back, and you're like, all right, let's go. Let's get some things done. And then Tuesday, you're like, gosh, it's still not Friday.
Yeah, that's
this is the
very true.
longest week ever.
Tuesday, Wednesday. But Thursday, I got to admit, on our show, it's like it kicks into a different gear.
Only when Trisha comes in for Annie, are you okay?
Yeah.
I've said this before. When Trisha walks in the studio to do that segment, for whatever reason, is she doing it today, by the way?
Yes, she is.
Yes,
about
today's Thursday.
This is about as early as I ever realize it.
Yes.
I'm always like teasing something for the next segment, and I forget that she's coming in, and then she comes in, I'm like, oh, I'm off the hook.
Yeah, let's go.
It's the weekend. Thursday at 2:30.
Yeah, Thursdays it's like everybody's realizing that it's almost Friday on Thursday. There's a different energy. For those who experience slumps, which is almost 3/4 of people, they say the top causes are either lack of caffeine. You got that one taken care of.
Yeah, maybe too much.
Not this one though. Boredom.
Well,
Lack of energy. That seems like it would be the cause of all slumps. Lack of food.
only if you don't take care of yourself.
Right. Lack of food. Now, Leah can speak to this. She eats healthy, so she doesn't have a lack of food.
Why are you talking about Leah? What about us?
Maybe you guys do. Maybe you're not eating healthy enough like Leah is.
Probably not. I'm not as good as Leah.
I like that it doesn't say a lack of healthy food. It just says lack of food, like
Well,
you haven't eaten.
That's a problem with this show, too, because when you go on the air at noon and you talk for 3 hours, if I eat a bunch of food right before I go on the air, I can't be sitting here belching into the microphone or like...
That's my job.
Yeah. I missed being here.
Tell me about this one. Lack of sleep. Is that one on the list for you?
I told Brad, guess what time I went to sleep last night?
1?
That's a trick question.
I did.
You didn't go to sleep last night.
Guess what time I went to sleep?
Like 3?
6.
4.
4?
Yeah.
Well, then what do you sleep until, though?
6:30.
Oh, my gosh. I can't imagine being that. I can't imagine doing that.
I don't have to necessarily get out of bed, but that's when I wake up and start like watching the news and reading articles, and if the kids need help with whatever.
I know. I got like
it's a big
20
one.
seconds.
That's probably a source of
one
a
of the
lot
most amazing things I've ever seen a human being achieve was when you did not sleep all night going into our Disney trip. Got up.
Yeah.
I was like, got up, but you didn't get up. You were just up.
You were at my house.
Yeah, I woke up and you were still awake, and just watching me was weird. And then we get on a plane and we do 30,000 steps that day.
I didn't invite you to sleep at my house. That's why it was weird. Tyrus, we come back.
Cards issued by Sutton Bank and Celtic Bank, members FDIC. Terms and conditions apply. Are you the decision maker in your company? Consider this. For the first time in decades, there's a better option for a corporate card and spend management platform. Meet Ramp, the only corporate card and spend management system designed to help you spend less money so you can make more. Most corporate credit cards offer points as incentives, but those points amount to less than their worth in real cash value. Ramp's corporate cards offer you cash back, real money in your pocket. Plus, you control who spends what with each vendor. And Ramp's software collects and verifies receipts automatically, which means you'll stop wasteful spending and close your books in hours instead of days. Businesses that use Ramp add up to 5% to their bottom line the first year. If you're a decision maker, adding Ramp could be one of the best decisions you've ever made. And now get $250 when you join Ramp. Just go to ramp.com/free. Ramp.com/free. RAMP.com/free.
AirComfortService.com. If you are a business owner, building manager, operations manager, office manager, basically if you're the decision person in your commercial business or the person who influences these smart decisions, when that HVAC system goes down, and it was cold yesterday and we're going to get some weather coming in right now, you need to make sure that your HVAC system is working well. Some of you have noticed that it isn't working well and you've gotten a quote for it and it was outrageous. Did you know you can get a free second opinion with Air Comfort Service? Call them at 314-513-0091. Put this number in your phone. I'm talking to everybody right now because if it hits the fan, you need to have the right people to call in that moment. Put it in Air Comfort Service, 314-513-0091. And when you reach out to Air Comfort Service, Heating, Cooling, and Insulation to get a free second opinion on commercial HVAC repairs, you're going to know you're going to get treated with respect. You're going to get the right information. You're going to get taken care of. You can find all the information about all of Air Comfort's services by visiting them online at aircomfortservice.com.
KFTK FM Florissant. From the Under Law Injury Lawyers, GetJim.com studio. 97.1 FM Talk. Always live on the free Odyssey app.
The latest school shooter is dead. Fox News, I'm Therese Crowley. Early this morning in Perry, Iowa, police received an active shooter call at the high school. At least 2 gunshot victims taken by ambulance to a hospital, one an administrator.
The Dallas County Sheriff's Office responding to an active shooter call at the high school in Perry, Iowa, just before classes this morning.
We're still unclear of exactly how many are injured or what the extent of those are, but we're working on that right now. There is no further danger to the public.
Sheriff Adam Infante, though a law enforcement source telling Fox News that the shooter is dead from a self-inflicted gunshot wound. Right now, a massive police presence remains. Other area schools have been cleared. The chaos unfolding on the first day back following the district's Christmas break. Jeff Manasso, Fox News.
The U.S. fires back in the Middle East, taking out a militia leader believed responsible for rebel attacks on U.S. troops. Fox's Jonathan Savage with his story.
We're told this was a precision strike on a vehicle in the Iraqi capital, Baghdad. It killed 2 people, including a high-ranking commander of an Iran-backed security force. Groups linked to Iran have been blamed for well over 100 attempted attacks on U.S. forces in the past 3 months. Iraq's not happy about what it calls an unjustified violation of its sovereignty. The Prime Minister's office saying the US-led international coalition bears responsibility. Jonathan Savage, Fox News.
And a claim of responsibility for the bombings in Iran that killed at least 84 people circulating among jihadists online, being attributed to ISIS, 2 men wearing explosive vests. The claim used disparaging language for Shiites, which ISIS views as heretics. The attack Wednesday during a ceremony on the anniversary of Revolutionary Guard General Qasem Soleimani, who was killed in a U.S. drone strike in 2020. America's listening to Fox News.
To avoid digital threats, turn on NordVPN. It's trusted by millions of users. Just visit NordVPN.com. One of the fastest VPNs on Earth will block web trackers, malicious websites, and malware-ridden downloads. It will also encrypt your internet traffic while maintaining a smooth connection. So improve your digital privacy and protection against hackers with one simple click. Get the special deal at NordVPN.com and enjoy safer internet daily. NordVPN. Cybersecurity built for every day.
It's game day at Jim's house, and the spread is impressive.
Mike's already done some damage with the hot wings, and now he's dropping back and going deep for another slice of pizza.
I sure hope he brought the Pepto.
Mike knows the Pepto-Bismol provides fast 5-symptom relief from unexpected stomach upsets. He's no rookie.
The way he's throwing back those nachos, he's the GOAT.
Be ready for game day with Pepto-Bismol.
When you have nausea, heartburn, indigestion, upset stomach, diarrhea.
Use as directed. Keep out of reach of children.
Air Comfort Service, heating, cooling, and insulation. Weather.
Finally getting to see a little bit of sunshine on this Thursday afternoon, but it's cold to be out and about. 38. Tonight, increasing clouds down to 25. Friday, dry day, but a cold day again. 42. Some light rain and wet snow mixed on Friday night. It's not a big deal. 32. Slow clearing on Saturday. A couple of sprinkles and flurries Saturday night, and Sunday sunny and 45. This is 97.1 FM Talk. Chief Meteorologist Dave Murray.
Michael's Flooring Outlet has the new floor for your new year, and you just got to visit them in one of a few places. The easy place, the right now place, the it's 103 in the afternoon and you're looking for distractions places, igotfloor.com. So when you go online and you pull up igotfloor.com, you're going to be able to see easily how to request an estimate for your space, for the kind of product that you're looking for. And you can also peruse the reviews that they have there at Michael's Flooring Outlet. They are incredibly committed to making sure that the job is done right, that you are delivered a product that you love, the product that you are going to want to show off to the world, and it's going to be installed correctly. They are committed to making it right no matter what. Now, if you go online to igotfloor.com, you'll be able to see all the different types of products that they have, like the Smart Strand Mohawk Silk line of carpeting, silky softness, superior performance, and 3 times more individual fibers than ordinary nylon carpet. Maybe this is what you're looking for. Check them out in one of their store locations if you want to get the up-close and personal feel of this carpet in St. Charles County, West County, or Darien Prairie, or, like I said, online at igotfloor.com.
This is a special alert to all Americans who own a vehicle with less than 200,000 miles with an auto warranty about to expire or with no warranty coverage at all. Due to a decline in the economy, CarShield is announcing a low-cost month-to-month vehicle protection plan that is now available to the public to save any driver out-of-pocket expenses on future auto repairs. Call now to find out how you can pay almost nothing for covered auto repairs. Yes, you heard that correctly. Pay almost nothing for covered auto repairs. An open phone line has been established for all drivers to call for a free quick quote. Call 800-652-5241 now. Drivers who are covered will not have to pay for covered repairs again. This protection plan is at an all-time low. Additionally, drivers who activate this vehicle protection today will also receive free roadside assistance, free towing, and car rental options at no additional cost. Call us for your free quick quote today. 800-652-5241. That's 800-652-5241. What do you have to lose? Call 800-652-5241. Again, 800-652-5241.
Need a break from the sound bites and the talking heads? Do you want information you can actually use? Information that'll change your life for the better? Then listen to the Del Walmsley Radio Show.
Listen to the Del Walmsley Radio Show this Saturday afternoon from 1 to 2 p.m. on 97.1 FM Talk.
Experience the beauty of custom-crafted windows that enhance your home's aesthetics and energy efficiency. Look no further than Infinity from Marvin, proudly brought to you by Lakeside Renovation and Design. Why choose Infinity? These windows are not just strong, they're 8 times stronger than vinyl, providing unmatched security for your home. Plus, with Lakeside's expert installation, you're guaranteed precision and perfection. Visit our showroom or call Lakeside Renovation and Design today. Elevate your home with Infinity from Marvin, where strength meets style.
The annual Cardinals Care Winter Warm-Up is back at Busch Stadium in Ballpark Village, January 13th through the 15th. We want you to be there. Mark Cox here. Listen all week for your chance to win and experience the unofficial kickoff of the 2024 baseball season.
That is exactly what I needed to hear.
Thank God someone here knows what they're talking about.
That's us. That's right. Gotta love this American ride.
All right, you need to take the time and get the full picture. Don't get me wrong. I love the ladies. I mean, they rev my engine, but they don't belong in the newsroom. It is Anchor Man, not Anchor Lady.
What do you want from me? I'm not America's sweetheart.
Goodness sake, kid. Keep your voice down. Your father's listening to the radio.
I'm not America's sweetheart.
This is the Annie Frey Show.
I appreciate that, but I think it's time that he gets a taste of something else because I just can't with that history. In accordance with the laws of the state of Nevada, this court...
Chaos ensues in this Clark County courtroom after a judge was jumped. This man leaps over the desk area there where the judge is sitting and attacks the judge because the judge said, no, you're not going to get probation. I think you need to learn your lesson. Well, good grief. Yeah, you don't say. I wonder what our friend Tyrus has to say about it.
You're becoming like my most stable relationship.
Fox News contributor, his book, Nuff Said, is available right now. You need to go get that. He's a guest on Gutfeld, and now he has his own special on Fox Nation. Tyrus, welcome back to the show. Happy New Year to you.
Happy New Year to you.
I was today's my first day back from a very long break, and I basically watched Fox News all day yesterday. And I saw your promo for your comedy special on Fox Nation, and I thought, well, how cool, because in some way, shape, or form, your first one was here in our neck of the woods.
There's no if it wasn't for the hospitality, it's your radio show and the good people of that's where this grew, and to where it's a thing now where, you know, I'm selling it all over the country, but it started with you guys. So I could not be more happy and humble because, like I said, you guys went above and beyond. You even took time out of your busy schedules to let my daughter completely go off on the radio and tell it like it is. And then, so yeah, it's grown into something cool. And it was kind of weird seeing, you know, in the name of the name of it Here and Now was, of course, homage to Richard Pryor. So, I mean, it was a fun thing to build.
Yeah.
So,
well, I know you don't need to hear this from me, but I will tell you that I felt a little bit, I was proud of you when I saw that. I'm like, oh, good for him. That's fantastic. So I'd encourage people to go get their Fox Nation subscriptions and check out Here and Now, the Tyrus comedy special. So now that that's out of the way, I'm sure that you can't have avoided this guy leaping at the judge in this.
I really tried. Unlike you two, I took a break to spend time with the fam. And I tried to stay off the news as much as possible, but it's just this is the ripple. And we've had crazy stuff happen in courtrooms before in this country, but there's this level of I think the average person now that starts to think that what they see in the sanctuary cities and the super progressive cities where you really don't get consequences for the things that you do, and they get into a place like Vegas, and the judge is going to stack some time on you based off which, and they become violent now because how can you do this to me? Like if I would hit somebody in the head with a hammer in New York, I'd be out already. So I think that's the dinner bell that's been rang across this country, and we're seeing things, and I'll be very interested to see what his sentencing is going to be, what he's going to be charged with. Because what we didn't see, it looks like he had a hold of her for a pretty good, people, it's not movies. You only really need a second and a half to do life-changing damage to somebody. Just the momentum of him jumping over and knocking the judge out of her seat. She was surprised, but while he was on the ground, was he hitting her? Was he choking her? We just don't, so that's the scary thing. And it was three men trying to get him off her. And they had to really earn it to get him away. But just think if those bailiffs were slow, she would not be with us today.
Right. It was scary to see, and I do think it's part of a larger conversation like you're talking about. We have consequenceless crime now. We limit. We actually tell people just don't steal $1,000 worth of goods. What does that tell the store owner who needs to protect $1,000 worth of their livelihood? I have to think that this is some sort of pendulum system, just for my own well-being, that eventually collective society goes, okay, this is enough. This is outrageous. We're bringing some common sense back into the equation. Do you think that's possible in 2024, if at all?
The problem is that this judge was doing her job. She was looking at the rap sheet, evidence presented, and she was like, no, probation is not an option for this guy because of his record and his past. We are not seeing that across the board. So she already knew what needed to be done. And then now those are the ones who are getting attacked. The progressive ones who are letting guys go or refusing to prosecute or holding their bail, like $10 in some cases, $0, just letting them go. There's no criminal in his right mind that's going to attack them. So they'll be like, well, it's because of your oppressive behaviors is why this happened. It wasn't even his fault. We'll hear that was his reaction to being oppressed, not the fact that he's been a career criminal. So that narrative's out there. It gets used in every situation possible. So unfortunately, it's just like the situation. It wasn't until the government worker in Annapolis was carjacked herself that all of a sudden she needed the police. All of a sudden, where are the police? Well, you defunded them. You disrespected them. You spit in their face. They're retiring. They're leaving. So that's where they are. So until the unaffected are affected, there won't be any change because you're going to have people. And listen, if you can say October 7th was fake, then you 1,000% can make some kind of argument that somehow he was justified in his action. And that's the part that's really just because here's the thing with feelings and lies. They connect to anything because there's no accountability in them. So, that's the thing. But he should be under the jail for attacking a woman. But I guess someone would argue maybe he identified as a woman too. Like that's the issue. But we laugh. But that's the scary thing. Like that's the thing that in today's day and age you can just say, hey, well, I'm this. It was a fair fight between two women. And she was oppressing me because I'm pretty sure her family owned slaves, even though there's no facts behind any of that crap. But that's just the narrative. So unfortunately, I think it's going to get a whole lot worse before it gets better because it's got to affect the ones who are pushing this policy. And Americans have to start voting. I'm not talking about Republican or Democrat. I'm talking about who's doing the right thing. Like who's going to actually doesn't get into office to just run re-elections and do ridiculous policies that put everyone's life in danger. Yeah. So as voters, we got to grow up. And just across, we got to get the old ones out if you've been in over 12 years and you haven't done anything, you got to go. And, hiring someone just because you felt good to hire a man or woman, a first of whatever their deal is, and they're not good at their job, that shouldn't be the reason to vote for him again.
Tyrus is with us right now. His new special on Fox Nation, Here and Now. You want to check out that comedy special for sure. He's a guest on Gutfeld regularly, and he's a Fox News contributor, and his book is out right now. Enough said. Go get it, read it, and tell me how you liked it. Before I let you go, did you hear Disney is going to do some more Star Wars stuff? Have you heard this latest news story about Disney?
When Darth, remember in Return of the Jedi, when Darth Vader died? Remember?
Yeah, sort of. Probably not as well as you and most listeners.
That's when it ended for me. So,
well, I'm going to play for you and our listeners in case anybody had any questions left.
We all should just take a deep breath and say, after Return of the Jedi, there was no more, and just move on. Well, say like, Star Trek got weird, and now you're going to have a woke Disney version of Star Wars. Even the last three was literally the recycled version of the original story, except they switched Luke out for a woman. There was no creativity in the story. They had opportunities to do something. But again, it's more about trying to make messages and listening to the director talk about her whole job is to make men uncomfortable.
Can I play it for you? Can I play it real quick? Here. Listen, sure. Tyrus.
I like to make men uncomfortable. I enjoy making men uncomfortable. Not you, just
not
you.
Not
Point taken. Point taken.
But, it is important to be able to look into the eyes of a man and say, I am here, and recognize that. And recognize that I am working to bring something that makes you uncomfortable, and it should make you uncomfortable because you need to change your attitude. And it's only when you're uncomfortable, when you're shifty, when you have to have difficult conversations, that you will perhaps look at yourself in the mirror and not like the reflection, and then say, maybe there is something wrong with the way I think, or maybe there is something wrong with the way I am addressing this issue.
It sounds like the new Disney director for the Star Wars franchise needs therapy, not the keys to the Star Wars franchise.
No, first of all, okay, it's not going to make anybody uncomfortable because you actually have to be in the freaking movie theater to see it, and no one's going to freaking go. Second of all, you're just assuming that all men are wrong and they were all anti-feminism. Like, this is so pathetic. Princess Leia was everybody like this. The stuff that they come up with. This is why no one's going to see it. This is why South Park is so right on so many levels. I'm going to make men uncomfortable. We're not going to watch it, okay? And this idea that all of a sudden, for no other reason than you just saying, what was the issue? What's the problem? What's going on? It's a fantasy movie about a galaxy far, far away that people play with swords that glow in the dark. And for kids, it was great, okay? But that's not going to make me change. Like, my God.
I think she's done her job, though. I think she's made all men uncomfortable, and they're not, like, who's going to go see that movie after that statement?
I'll just be like, look, I couldn't be happier to be on the dark side. It gives me focus, makes me strong.
Fine, I give in. I'm on the dark side.
And maybe, Annie, if we work hard, we can figure out how to bring Padme back so she can help us sweat this out. But until the meantime, I'll even be, I'll be a little more gracious. When Darth Maul got cut in half, we're done. We're done here. We just don't get it. I feel like I'm in Austin, unless you're going to bring in Dr. Evil as the new Emperor. I'm not watching. I'm done. I'm washing my hands. I can't wait for Barbie 2, and hopefully there'll be a fight scene in Barbie 2, and I can just be like, thanks, and sure, she can beat up a bunch of G.I. Joe masculine jacked dolls who are trying to find to be here's the script writes itself, like toxic male action figures want to be real, so they have to go through Barbie sensitive training classes so they can become a real boy. So we'll just go with that.
Man, I was thinking, you know what? All these crap films that Disney's been putting out here lately, they were probably made, 4 or 5? COVID happened 6-7 years ago when woke was really mainstream. And I thought, you know what? The stock price sucks. They have a lot of fixing to do. I think that they've noticed that. They've seen it, the error of their ways. And I think that we're going to see some real great movies in 3 or 4 years. And I was wrong.
Listen, one thing we've learned in this country is that morons and narcissists double down, triple down. You don't hear, you know what, I think we got it wrong, and this message we're pushing clearly missed the mark because it's in our feelings, it's not a real problem. So let's just make a movie that everyone can go watch and like this. I mean, we even have, what's her name? Like, I was the first action woman star. Excuse me? I almost got a Sigourney Weaver tattoo on my arm before, you know what I'm saying? Like, Sigourney, she beat the aliens. You know what I'm saying? In a machine, in a forklift. Straight up forklift. Get away from her, you B. I respect the show.
Thank you. I appreciate
that. Weaver. Yeah, and she did all that in her underwear. No man can do that. We've been looking for pants, and we would have got killed.
Where's my belt?
So, I mean, the insanity of this, they act like they're reinventing the wheel, that they just showed up and invented all this stuff. This stuff's been going on forever, and that's the thing that makes me laugh so much about woke is they're acting like racism was discovered in 2021. You know, it's a joke. And this is why people don't go to the movies anymore. And this is why a great movie like the new Godzilla is beating everybody else, because they just made a movie about something tangible, and everyone was like, and it was even in a different language. And I was like, this is a great movie. I had fun. I didn't leave the movie going, I need to change the way I look at things. I need to be, Godzilla's really, really toxically masculine when he's lighting fires on buildings. Like, this is ridiculous. Not what you go to the movies for. Yeah. And that's why this will be a bomb. That's why Cinderella, the more that actress talks, the more they got to push it back, because it's just this attack on men, an attack on anyone who has an individual idea or difference of opinion, doesn't make zero sense. The whole Snow White thing, it's not about a prince. The baddest person in the whole movie was the queen. They were so afraid of her that a father put his daughter in the house with 12 grumpy old midget men. So that's how bad she was. Like, you were willing to throw her in the forest to hope for the best because you couldn't have the queen find her. All the prince did was save her life. Otherwise, she'd still be asleep. It's just
that terrible toxic man.
Yeah.
Tyrus, I'm glad I asked you about Star Wars. Thank you.
Yeah, I went on a rant. I apologize.
No, you don't apologize here. Like I said, we're very proud of you, and I'm encouraging people to go check out Here and Now on Fox Nation to check out your new special there. That's so cool. And I look forward to having you back in 2024. Thanks for always being here with us. We're always grateful for you.
Oh, yeah, I will find my way back there because Pappies will be calling.
That's right. So. We look forward to it. Talk to you soon, Tyrus. Take care.
Yep.
Bye-bye. All right, we got to take a quick break here because we have the Attorney General for the state of Missouri on the line, and we're going to get right to him in just a couple of minutes. Great conversation with Tyrus there. Hit a lot of points. He really went all in. Let's take a quick break. Andrew Bailey, the Attorney General for the state of Missouri, in just a couple minutes.
This is the Annie Frey Show. Follow Annie on Twitter @AnnieFreyShow.
Stewart's American Mortgage is the home of the Bagel Loan, and as you know, the Bagel Loan is called the Bagel Loan because it looks like a zero, and that means that you pay zero in fees that other lenders out there will charge you for when it comes to closing costs. How about no closing costs? Yeah, you heard me right. I have refinanced twice with Stewie at the Bagel Loan as rates came down, I don't know, it was a couple years ago. I refinanced and secured a lower rate. I got a great rate right now. Pretty excited about that. Stewie would look out for me and be like, hey, might be a good time to reconsider this. And it didn't cost me anything to do it because I didn't have to pay any closing costs. They are not there. He doesn't roll them into the loan. If you are looking to get a mortgage right now, check with Stewie before you go anywhere else because he can get you the best deal in town. Saving on those closing costs with the Bagel Loan is such a smart move. You call him or text him at 314-324-4440. That's 314-324-4440. Let him know what your situation is. Maybe you're purchasing a home. Maybe you're doing a cash out refinance. Maybe you're paying down credit card debt because you want to get your financial house in order in 2024. Whatever it is, Stewie can help you. 314-324-4440. Google the Bagel Loan, NMLS number 226715.
Paid for by Christian Care Ministry.
If you haven't switched to Medi-Share yet, two big reasons to at least consider it and why it makes so much sense right now. Number one is inflation, which is just affecting everything. It just makes sense to say, okay, where can I actually save? Well, you can save a lot in one fell swoop if you switch to Medi-Share. The typical family saves $500 a month. Secondly, your conscience. Medi-Share members aren't forced to pay for things they don't support or believe in, and that's a big deal for a lot of people right now. They want their money to actually help people. And one more reason, you can trust Medi-Share. It's been the gold standard for healthcare sharing for more than 30 years. It works, and members love it too. It has double the member satisfaction rating compared to health insurance. So now's a great time to consider making the switch, and they are very easy to talk to. Medi-Share has great customer service. You can call now and get a price within 2 minutes. Here's the number. It's 855-51-BIBLE. That's 855-51-BIBLE, 855-51-BIBLE.
You're listening to the Annie Frey Show live from the Air Comfort Service Heating, Cooling, and Insulation Studio. Air Comfort Service is proud to support Greater St. Louis Honor Flight. Sign your veteran up for the Honor Flight today at gslhonorflight.org. And for heating services, visit aircomfortservice.com.
You know how I feel.
You're listening to the Annie Frey Show.
Sun in the sky. You know how I feel.
Follow Annie on Twitter @AnnieFreyShow.
Breeze drifting on by. You know how I feel. It's a new dawn. It's a new day. It's a new life for me. And I I'm feeling good.
Been to the border dozens of times. If I go down there, I'm going down to meet one-on-one with people to really get an insight from what they're doing. I don't need one of these dog and pony shows from the Border Patrol and then go out to the cameras.
So that was Congressman Chip Roy talking about having visited the border. We know that a lot of the representatives out of the House were at the border today, and they are going to pursue an impeachment of Secretary Mayorkas. And I pick this out of a whole list of different subjects that I'm going to talk to our next guest about in different areas that in Missouri you have a fighter in the Attorney General position who, on a whole host of issues, in 2023 has taken it to representing the people of Missouri, and as a resident of Illinois myself, Americans alike in so many different issues. We're happy to welcome the Attorney General of the state of Missouri onto the show, Andrew Bailey. Thank you for being here, Attorney General. It's good to talk to you.
Hey, thank you so much for having me on. I appreciate it.
I wanted to know what your thoughts were, because I know that you are pursuing your own legal challenges to protect Missourians from the border crisis that we're dealing with. But right now, the House of Representatives is suggesting that maybe Mayorkas should be impeached. What are you doing right now to keep Missourians safe from this border crisis that we're all enduring?
Well, let me say a couple of things here. Number one, every state is a border state because of President Biden's utter failure to do anything to secure the southern border. He cares not at all about our national sovereignty. Look, if we don't have a border, we don't have a country. This is the epicenter in the fight for the soul of America. This is one of the strategic objectives we have to secure if we want to have any country to hand off to the next generation. And so to that end, we filed 2 lawsuits. One to stop the catch and release policy at the border, and the second one to force Biden to build the border wall. Look, Congress has appropriated money in statute to the completion of President Trump's border wall. It's incumbent upon Biden to faithfully execute the laws as written. He doesn't have to like them, but he's got to execute them. One of those laws is the money to build the border wall. He's got to do that. So we, the federal government tried to get dismissal of that suit. We successfully defended that suit at the Fifth Circuit Court of Appeals, and we anticipate a ruling from the district court judge here in the coming weeks. But this is an important issue, and I'm proud to say that next week I will be in Washington, D.C. to testify in Congress on this very issue.
Well, we're speaking with Attorney General Andrew Bailey here for the state of Missouri, and you mentioned the funding. We saw President Biden when he was leaving his vacation. He was asked about the border problem. He said we need to do something. He said Congress needs to give him the money that he needs in order to do whatever, quote, something is. You're suggesting here that there are things that President Biden can do in and of himself, and it seems as though you're taking action in order to pressure that situation.
Yeah, one of 2 things is going on here with President Biden. He's either so confused because he's so out of it and has no idea what's going on, is a complete space cadet, which is entirely possible, or he's lying to the American public. And I think that much more likely. We know that he won't actually spend the money. Congress could give him all the money in the world and he wouldn't do anything with it, or use it for nefarious purposes that have nothing to do with actually securing the border. He has money now to build the border wall and has yet refused to do it. That's why we had to file a lawsuit. That is Exhibit A in my case against President Trump's unlawful refusal to do his job at the border. President Biden's unlawful refusal to do his job at the border. But what I'll tell you is that President Trump used the laws that have been on the books for the past 50 years, the same laws that are still on the books. And President Trump reduced border crossings by 96%. 96%. So tell me this. Do we need more laws? Do we need more money? Or do we just need to use the tools that we have on the books? I mean, again, President Biden is clearly deceiving the American public on this issue and should be held accountable.
Yeah, I think that we need to use every tool at our disposal. And it seems to me like what the Biden administration and the president himself have is excuses as to why they're not having to access those tools. Attorney General Andrew Bailey with us right now. One of the big things that happened in Missouri in 2023 was in large part your doing with the removal of Kim Gardner. What can you tell us about the status in St. Louis, in the county right now, in this area where crime has been it's really decimated the city. People don't feel safe coming down here. And I say this anecdotally as somebody who comes here every day. You see the homelessness, you see the drug use, you know that the violence is taking place day and night. Where do you see St. Louis in 2024 now that Kim Gardner has been removed, replaced, and there's a different direction?
Well, we certainly still have a lot of work to do to clean up the city of St. Louis. Removing Kim Gardner was the first step, but she had dug us into such an incredible hole. It's going to take years to dig out of that. We've got to find structural change here to make sure we don't relapse back into the old way of doing things. The status quo won't cut it any longer. And what we know is that as St. Louis goes, so goes the region, so goes the state. It's too important to just let radical progressives run it into the ground. And that's what Kim Gardner was trying to do. I'm proud of the work my office did in leading the charge, filing the lawsuit to have her removed from office, the first attorney general in the United States to successfully remove a Soros-backed prosecutor and her radical social experiment that went terribly wrong. And I'll tell you, my heart goes out to the victims. You know, these poor men and women who suffered under this tyranny of oppression from criminal behavior, where we had outsourced control of the streets to the criminals because Kim Gardner wouldn't let the police do their job. So we're in a much better position with her gone. The police are patrolling the streets, arresting offenders, taking them to the circuit attorney's warrant office. The circuit attorney's applying for warrants and holding wrongdoers accountable. So we're in a much better condition, but there's a lot of work still to be done.
Attorney General Andrew Bailey with us right now for the state of Missouri. You've got other things in the hopper right now, challenges towards President Biden and this administration's overreach into the privacy and the lives of American citizens, Missourians especially. What do you see in 2024? What are some highlights that you are pursuing that you want to make sure that Americans and Missourians know that you're fighting for?
Well, as you and I have talked about in the past, we have the most important First Amendment suit pending at the United States Supreme Court right now. We will be at the Supreme Court in March. I mean, again, the question before the court is, do we have a right to free speech, or are we going to allow the government to censor speech on big tech social media platforms? And proud of the work we've done leading that effort. You know, we went to court back in May of 2023, and I asked for a preliminary injunction to build a wall of separation between tech and state to protect our right to free speech. The court handed down that injunction on the 4th of July, and we successfully defended it twice. So the score is Missouri 3, Biden 0 in the fight for free speech, and we're going to the Super Bowl. I anticipate bringing home a win. We've been fighting and winning for Missourians for the past 12 months, and we'll keep doing it. And I want to, look, the Missouri v. Biden case is huge, and, that generates a lot of attention, but there's a lot of other great stuff going on at this office. We have seen a 133% increase in the request for my office to prosecute violent offenders at the trial court level. We have obtained 19 criminal convictions after jury trial, 35 guilty pleas across the state of Missouri, 5 homicide convictions. That's deploying resources in the fight against violent crime. We obtained $32 million in settlements and judgments protecting Missouri consumers from deceptive business practice, put $12 million back in the pockets of hardworking Missouri families who had been ripped off by scams. Now, that's important work, and it matters to everyday folks.
Well, one of the last questions I want to ask you, Attorney General, is the state of the justice system in this country right now. Because if you live in a red state, you've got somebody out there fighting for your freedoms and for equal justice. I live in a blue state, and I don't feel that at all coming from the Illinois side of the Mississippi River. But we're watching going into, now that we're in 2024, it is an election year. People have questions about the safety and security of what's going to happen throughout the course of this election process. We see craziness in Colorado, in Maine, which could ripple out into other states. In your opinion, as somebody who is a high-level officer of the law, as the Attorney General of the state of Missouri, how do you feel about the state of the justice system in America today?
Well, the left has completely undermined the rule of law, and it starts at the border, where President Biden is refusing to enforce border law. And so the criminal element here at home says, well, if they're not going to enforce that law, does any law mean anything? And then you see abuse of the law, like in Colorado and Maine, where you've got these state officials unilaterally declaring that President Trump can't be on the ballot because of Section 3 of the 14th Amendment that has everything to do with, former Confederate officers in the 1800s, has nothing to do with presidential primaries and presidential elections in 2024. And so when the left undermines, ignores, and abuses the law, people lose faith and confidence in the law. And that's why it's important for us to stand up and be law enforcers. And again, the Constitution is intended to protect us from the government, and the government is supposed to protect our rights. And that's what we're doing here at the Missouri Attorney General's office.
Do you feel confidence in what the Supreme Court, some of the cases that they have in front of them right now, that we're going to get some sort of ruling regarding what's going on in Colorado, among others, that really does retain the rights of the American people to decide who they vote for?
Yeah, absolutely. It is dripping with irony. It would be silly if it wasn't so frightening that the same people that proclaim to want to protect our democracy are the ones undermining it by depriving us of the ability to vote for our chosen elected officials. But I do believe that the United States Supreme Court will slap that down and correct that wrong, and President Trump will rightfully be on the ballot across the United States of America.
Well, Attorney General Andrew Bailey, we appreciate you and your time here on our show, and we continue to watch these cases that you have pending right now. We're looking forward to some big successes from your office in 2024, and we can't wait to talk to you about them.
Hey, we'll keep fighting and winning for Missouri. Thank you so much for having me on. Happy New Year. Look forward to talking soon.
Sounds great. Happy New Year to you as well. The Attorney General for the state of Missouri, Andrew Bailey, giving us a little bit of recap of 2023 and what's to come in 2024. A lot of legal ease that every day goes in and out. I am not a legal expert. I will not play one on the radio, but I will bring in the people as often as I can to try to parse what is going on, what the challenges are, and to iron out the wrinkles for you and for me throughout the course of this year, because there's going to be a ton of it. All right, let's take a quick break. A reminder about the YouTube live chat poll for today. Grade your outlook on 2024. We've got a year ahead of us. How do you feel about it? Do you give it an A, a B/C, a D, or an F? Andrew says, I put F. The world's going downhill super fast. That's ominous. Russell says, I voted B/C. Now the pressure is off of me and on everyone else to hold that my goals are met. I feel better now. Okay, that's all right. You talk yourself through it. You're doing fine. Bob said, I vote A. Politics are a pertinent part of my life and how it is affected but does not control or guide my life. I just adjust accordingly. My life is my life, and it will always be an A. There's a good outlook. Let us know what you think on the Annie Frey YouTube channel. We'll be right back.
Dragonfly out in the sun.
You're listening to The Annie Frey Show. Follow Annie on Instagram at The Annie Frey Show.
What I mean. Sleep in peace when day is done. That's what I mean. And this old world is a new world and a bold world for me.
RulerFoods.com. There are Ruler Foods all over the bi-state region, and the one closest to you is just a few clicks away. You go into RulerFoods.com and type in your zip code, and you'll find the one that's right next to your work, your church, your home, and you start saving. It's really pretty simple. I shop at Ruler Foods. My husband went there, bought all of our food for our New Year's Eve party at Ruler Foods, and it was all delicious. No sacrifices in that department, and we saved a ton of money. When you were looking for your name brands, they're going to have those at Ruler Foods. When you're looking for Kroger brands at Ruler Food prices, did you know that Ruler Foods has Kroger brands there? You're going to be able to save on those brands, especially when you shop at Ruler Foods. They have great produce. They have a wonderful meat department, frozen foods, dairy, and everything in the mix in the middle. You will be able to save on your grocery bill with Ruler Foods. Kroger bread, 20 ounces, or Kroger peanut butter, 16 ounces, 4 for $5. Baby back ribs or assorted bone-in pork chops, $2.99 a pound. Plus that Hunt's pasta sauce or Kroger pasta, 10 for $10. Make sure that you save on your grocery bill by shopping Ruler Foods, RulerFoods.com.
The IRS definitely ramped up operations since the pandemic slowed them down, and activity only increases from here. Hi, this is Lance Story with the Lance Story Law Firm. If you're currently under audit or you haven't paid your taxes in the past, now's the time to call the Lance Story Law Firm. The IRS has a published Taxpayer Bill of Rights, which says you have the right to retain legal representation, because IRS problems are legal problems, and the Lance Story Law Firm focuses specifically on addressing IRS issues for our clients. It's all we do. We get out in front of the IRS, devise the best resolution plan, and work to make sure you're able to take advantage of every program you're qualified to receive. So before you send money to some out-of-town, high-pressure company, call the Lance Story Law Firm. We're local, located right here in St. Louis, or visit Lance, DRURYlaw.com to schedule your free consultation with your local tax resolution law firm, the Lance Story Law Firm, 314-260-6120.
The choice of a lawyer is an important decision and should not be based solely upon advertisements.
Mark Cox here. If you're nearing retirement or already retired, call my friends Thomas Helbig and Bob Kershaw with the Retirement Advisory Group. They'll show you how to link to the market without the risk. They're the official financial advisors of my show. Go online to retirementkey.com. Victory Men's Health is making it easier than ever before to feel like your old self again. Mark Cox here from my friends at Victory Men's Health. Now they're offering telehealth. You reside in Illinois or Missouri, the process is easy. Just go to their website, pick the service you're interested in. Maybe it's semaglutide for weight loss or hormone therapy or micronutrient testing. Once you've made your selection and your results are in, they'll do a video telehealth consult to review. Go to victorymenshealth.com.
Imagine having all the money you need for retirement, all the income, every month, guaranteed. That's Secure Future Investor. an indexed annuity tied to growth in the stock market, but without any risk of loss ever. It's guaranteed money for life income, no matter how long you live. Call 888-509-2228. 888-509-2228. Sponsored by GP Agency, Inc., Raleigh, North Carolina. Licensed in all states. Performance may vary. Consult with your financial professional before making an investment decision.
Are you the parent of a 2 to 7-year-old? Listen closely for an exciting free radio offer. By now, you've probably heard of ABC Mouse, the Parents' Choice Award-winning online learning program that's actually changing the lives of early learners everywhere.
ABC Mouse is like a little one-on-one teacher. It has helped her so much.
Right now, we're offering a special radio promo to try it free for a month. But you have to go to abcmouse.com/radio to claim your free month. That's abcmouse.com/radio.
Sponsored by Age of Learning.
Grade your outlook on 2024. Is it an A? Is it a B/C, D, or F? Let us know what you think going into this year, and we will judge you at the end of the year. We're keeping track. Let us know in the comments also why you believe what you believe. It's 142 right now. By the way, type in Annie Frey YouTube live chat poll, and that's how you vote in that poll. 142 right now. This time check is sponsored by Jerry Kelly Heating and Air Conditioning.
It's time for a $98 furnace tune-up.
Fact-checking the fact-checkers daily. St. Louis's home for conservative talk. 97.1 FM Talk. This is the Annie Frey Show. Follow Annie on Twitter at Annie Frey Show.
Everywhere I go, people stop and they say, 25 years old, my mother, God rest her soul.
Find the podcast, on-demand audio, and more at 971talk.com/Annie.
You know, I'm very thrilled about the project because I think what we are about to create is something very special. And we're in 2024 now. And I think it's about time that we had a woman come forward to shape the story in a galaxy far, far away.
So I know that that's what Star Wars fans were missing in the remakes. I know it. It's that there wasn't a woman telling the story. And I'm really happy for you men that you're now finally going to get to be entertained by Disney movies that are Star Wars films.
Yeah, as you know, I've never been a big Star Wars guy. I'm a Trekkie myself, but now I will be. She is...
It's because you're such a feminist.
Yeah, she's kind of, you know, I mean, my eyes are already open, but I'm looking
I wish you'd
forward...
close them. They're too open.
I'm looking forward to her opening other people's eyes, I think.
It's not you, it's them.
Yeah, because there's so many people right now, to me, that view women as just secondary citizens, and they're not allowed to be in places of impact. And so to see a woman director in Hollywood, I'm shocked, first of all, because that's the patriarchy.
I literally said to a family member over the Christmas break, I think that the problem that Disney is facing so significantly when it comes to their filmmaking and just bomb after bomb after bomb. When was the last time they made a block? I know Avatar did really well, which I never saw. Yeah, you can't think of one, at least not quickly.
Yeah, no.
But you can think of ones that they've come out with that have just been utter flops. I said when you think about when they started making those films, it takes years to make films. And if you think about 2020 peak woke?
2020 or 21. I think so, yeah.
Are we seeing movies in 2024, 2023, and 2024 that were made in 2020 and 2021? Or are those movies made maybe even a little bit before then? Especially animated movies.
It's both. Yeah, I mean, these things take a long time. So
Especially
we're still...
with COVID and a writer strike.
Both of those things taking place within the last 3 years, yes.
So that slows the process down.
Yep.
So you're kind of seeing films, like you got to be cutting edge and, ahead of the curve and all those phrases when you're making art or content for the masses, because you got to be able to know what people are going to want and the timeline that it's going to take from your ideation of what you're going to create to the actual, here's the product, go buy your ticket and watch it. There's time that passes there. So what people thought was mainstream and like really what people wanted to see, I don't think society is culturally as woke. And yes, I'm going to keep using that word because everybody knows what it means. And the people who don't like, what is woke? You know exactly. You don't like it. You don't
You don't like we got
fact,
that word.
You don't like the fact that I can say it and everybody knows what I'm talking about. Woke. And that the actual antithesis of woke is being awake, which is what people use in proper English. But I felt like the downfall of Disney was the same thing that happened to AB. It wasn't necessarily that they chose to put a beer in Dylan Mulvaney's hand. It wasn't so much that they've tried to insert culturally progressive stories that what's that one? It's not Stranger Things. Strange World.
Strange World, yeah.
I never saw it. And, but I read lots of reviews from people who are like, Disney nerd people are like, this movie sucks because it had no plot. The cultural diversity was the plot. And they thought, we'll make this, people will love it, maybe, and we'll get away with it. But no, people didn't want to do it because your storytelling sucks. And I thought when we saw in both cases of Disney and of Anheuser-Busch, it wasn't the decision that they made and the thing that they created. It was the fact that we saw their executives saying, this is what I'm doing. I'm shoving this down people's throat. Why? Because it's toxic if I don't. And you're all lucky that I'm here. And I know it's going to be difficult for some people. I know it's going to make some people uncomfortable. But this is what needs to happen. And if it makes you uncomfortable, then you're part of the problem. And I'm here to make you uncomfortable so you can eventually come to my conclusion and be part of the solution, which is called narcissism. And we saw it with that executive at Anheuser-Busch who said that Bud Light was a dying brand and it was essentially toxically masculine and so on and so forth. And we saw it with Disney with that executive who was like I don't know what her official title was, but she was like the DEI person who was supposed to represent LGBTQ communities, make sure that they were represented. And she says in that Zoom meeting that I'm pretty sure Christopher Rufo released, I started putting a little in over here and a little in over there. And I realized nobody was pushing back. So I put a little more in over here and a little bit more in over there and nobody pushed back. And now I'm just throwing everything in everywhere I go. And no one's stopping me. We know what their intentions are. Sometimes you can see something and go, whoa, bad move. But you hear their intentions. It comes off wrong. It wasn't executed correctly. And you can kind of go, okay, you probably learned your lesson. We know what their intentions were. And I thought to myself, Disney has to have learned. And when they can't just turn around great content, good storytelling just like that because the current stuff they have sucks because they made that stuff years ago. I just had this conversation with a family member, like within the last 7 days. And then this nonsense director comes out and says her entire purpose is to make men uncomfortable for Star Wars. Holy.
Yeah, and that's not stuff that's been in the pipeline for a long time. That's stuff that they're doing now.
There's still time to change your mind.
Yeah, so she's being interviewed by Jon Stewart, and that's what's amazing is that what disappointed, honestly, my honest reaction when I first heard that clip was not, oh my gosh, it's woke again. It's that you're supposed to be the leaders of art of the world.
Right.
And you're saying the exact same things that's like a company feed bag. Like you're just repeating corporate propaganda at this point from your DEI meetings. You are doing nothing creatively interesting.
Did you hear the Dave Chappelle? Have you heard the Dave Chappelle clips that are out right now from his new special on
Some of
Netflix?
them.
I've only heard the clips that are out there,
Yeah.
and I can't wait to watch it because I love a good Dave Chappelle special. But he was talking about how he wanted to meet Jim Carrey. And in meeting, I don't have this, do I? In meeting Jim Carrey, he knew the director that was filming Man on the Moon, which is the Andy Kaufman story. And apparently Jim Carrey, and I kind of remember this, I don't know why I'm kind of annoyed that I remember it, that Jim Carrey was doing method acting. So he was Andy Kaufman every waking moment. And to make a long story short, what Chappelle says is that he really wanted to meet Jim Carrey, really, really respected Jim Carrey and his work, and got invited by the director to come meet him. And Dave Chappelle says, he was standing in this room and Jim Carrey walked in and Dave Chappelle goes, Jim Carrey! And everyone goes, no. We call him Andy. And he was like, oh, I really wanted to meet Jim Carrey. That's one of the jokes he says. But then he says, I say all this to say that's what it's like when we meet transgender people. Is the idea that it's like, okay, I'll call you Andy, but he said it makes him feel uncomfortable. That's the Chappelle joke. The reason I tell that story is because the reaction after the Chappelle show came out, all of the newspapers are saying Chappelle didn't learn their lesson. Chappelle hasn't gone through everything he's gone through at Netflix with the transgender community. He has not learned his lesson. And I'm looking at Disney going, you're not learning your lesson. What are you thinking? You're idiots. How can you miss the obvious lesson that is in front of you right now?
Yeah, it's amazing. It really is amazing. The amount of money they've spent on stuff that has sucked, and everybody knew it. And part of the reason, not the only reason, but part of the reason is because they're pushing a cultural social message so hard that you feel like you're being preached to instead of enjoying a movie, especially in things like Star Wars. You don't go to Star Wars to hear messages, you go to be entertained. And that's the bulk of entertainment, is just that you enjoy yourself, not to go learn lessons. If you want to, you can, but most people don't choose to spend their money on that. And they're not. And yet they're doing it anyway.
I don't get it. I am frustrated by it. They can continue to suck at the box office, and we will just sit by and watch them suck and go see other things or not go see anything at all.
I think I'd like to push back a little bit on something you said earlier where you were talking about how they think this is what people want. And I don't think that's what they think at all. I think this is the beatings will continue until morale improves sort of thing. They don't think this is the type of stuff that people want.
Well, there's different people in the conversation, though. There's the business people and there are the creative people.
Yeah.
And the crabby, cranky, crotchety business people need to get their act together.
And tell these other people that are making this garbage that our job is to sell movies, not deliver a message.
I think the director is what you're saying.
Yes.
The director has a moral crusade that she will shove down your throat.
And I think that goes up into some of the people in executive positions. I would say Kathleen Kennedy has that error about her. This is something that needs to be said. This is something that needs to be done. Back when she first took over, she was the one wearing the Forces female shirts and stuff like that. And then, it's also Disney that calls the fans that didn't want to see this Star Wars, that were complaining about the story, complaining about the everything, a bunch of big crybaby man babies. And it's like, this is your base.
I'm just trying to think of a franchise that has been rebooted to more disdain than Disney's version of Star Wars. My understanding is I think I've seen them all. I couldn't tell. We were talking with Tyrus a little bit earlier. Go check on the podcast. He was referencing Star Wars things. I just had to take his word for it. The only thing I remember about Darth Maul is that they did an advertising campaign with Pizza Hut when the movie was out, and there was this big window sticker of Darth Maul up on the, it took up 2 or 3 windows, and Darth Maul's scary head was up there. And I was sitting in Pizza Hut with some friends, and I saw that. I'm like, I hate that guy. but there were people sitting in the table right in front of the window, and it looked like I said that about some patrons. And I felt bad about that.
That's your memory of Star Wars.
When I think about Darth Maul, I only think about those people who I said when I was probably 16, 17 years old in Pizza Hut in Edwardsville, Illinois, I hate that guy. And I talked to some very probably wonderful man. And I was like, oh, I was talking about the red man on the wall. I don't know nothing about it. But, I mean, isn't it like there's a very, very strong dissatisfaction with what Disney has done to Star Wars.
This is an understatement. It is, yeah.
I
guys,
don't know if I've ever met anyone who's like, I love them.
Is it worse now than it even was under J.J. Abrams?
Oh, yeah,
okay,
because
I thought
like
so, but
when
I'm not
J.J.
that
Abrams,
into it.
but that was Kathleen Kennedy as well. That was all under her. J.J. Abrams' film was milquetoast. It was
Which
boring.
one was
So it was
that?
just a film.
The Force Awakens.
It wasn't woke, though.
No, it was.
It was just like, okay.
It was very blah.
Yeah.
And it set up a bunch of storylines. Then Ryan Johnson came in and made that turd. And then I'm a huge Star Wars fan. I am.
Yes.
I walked out of the theater in the Last Jedi. I walked out. I was done. I couldn't take it. I paid my money, went in, started watching it. It's like, this is garbage. I'm done. I got up and walked out. It was bad.
Well, now that your toxic masculinity is in check, you'll be made to be uncomfortable and like it, and you'll sit there and you'll watch it.
Maybe you're going to look in the mirror after watching the new one and think, you know
I'll
what?
be like Tyrus. I won't be offended by this movie because I won't be in the theater.
He's going to wear a Hillary shirt to the theater. I'm with her.
Nevertheless,
How
she persisted.
freaking stupid can you be? I don't want to say that like it's a challenge. We'll be right back.
You couldn't pick a worse time to sell your home. Sure, your home is worth a small fortune right now, but are you really going to swap your 2 or 3% current interest rate and pay 7 or 8% interest on a new house? No way. You don't have to with the Get Paid and Stay program from Truehold. You'll love this. It's a genius idea. With the Get Paid and Stay program, Truehold will buy your home now at its best current value. You bank the cash and stay in your home until interest rates come back down, or as long as you like. It's your call. Plus, you won't have to pay property taxes, insurance, or upkeep anymore. Truehold pays those expenses. Learn about Truehold's Get Paid and Stay program. Call 855-300-9993. That's 855-300-9993. Or visit Truehold.com and discover how much Truehold will pay for your home based on its best current value, not what's coming. Truehold.com, the smarter, faster way to cash out on your home's value without having to move. Call 855-300-9993 or visit Truehold.com.
I'm Brian Westbrook with Coalition Life. More than 11 years ago, we set out to help women right here in St. Louis. Today, Coalition Life celebrates more than 3,500 clients served and thousands of lives saved since we began this mission with you. Each one is a miracle. Over the years, day in and day out, our team has walked alongside women facing the fear and challenges of an unexpected pregnancy. Through the support of this community, we have given them hope and a path to choose life for the children they carry. Our work at Coalition Life continues, and we need your support more than ever in a post-Roe v. Wade world. Whether you join us as a volunteer, an employee, or a donor, know that you have a special impact to make for these precious children. Visit coalitionlife.com to give your vital support while reducing or completely eliminating your state taxes through Missouri's 70% tax credit. Learn more at coalitionlife.com, coalitionlife.com.
KFTK FM Florissant. From the Under Law Injury Lawyers, GetJim.com studio. 97.1 FM Talk. Always live on the free Odyssey app.
To begin the winter semester, I'm John Saucier, Fox News. There's been a shooting at a high school in small town Iowa. Fox's Mike Tobin with more on what we know right now.
The law enforcement official speaking to the Associated Press saying that the shooter is dead of a gunshot wound, a self-inflicted gunshot wound. What we have through the official channels is that there is no more threat to the public, and that is coming from Admin Fonte with the Dallas County Sheriff's Department, who did say that the shooter has been identified. So the information we're getting right now is consistent. We've also got reports that one of the victims is a school administrator, that there are 2 gunshot victims who were transported to Methodist Hospital in Des Moines, Iowa, the state capital, about 40 miles away.
As of July 21, Iowa does not require a permit to purchase a handgun or carry a firearm in public, although it does mandate a background check for a person buying a handgun without a permit. The United States launching a retaliatory strike against an Iranian-backed Iraqi militia in Baghdad. The U.S. believes this group is behind the surge of attacks against American forces in Iraq and Syria. Here's Fox's Greg Palcott with more.
A U.S. official confirms to Fox News an American strike targeted today an Iran-backed Iraqi militia leader believed to be responsible for attacks on U.S. forces. It happened in the center of the Iraqi capital of Baghdad. There have been some 118 attacks by Iran-supported groups, mostly against U.S. bases in Iraq and Syria, since October 17. All of these thought to be a response to U.S. support of Israel in its war against Hamas. Today's strike marks the 8th time the U.S. has reacted. One of the Iran-backed attacks included the mortaring of the U.S. embassy grounds in Baghdad last month. The Iran-leaning Iraqi government blasted today's U.S. strike as an unprovoked attack on an Iraqi security body. In London, Greg Palcott, Fox News.
We haven't heard from ISIS in a while, but now we have. The Islamic State group on social media says they're responsible for a pair of suicide bombers who blew themselves up, killing at least 84 people yesterday in Iran. America's listening to Fox News.
To avoid digital threats, turn on NordVPN. It's trusted by millions of users. Just visit NordVPN.com. One of the fastest VPNs on Earth will block web trackers, malicious websites, and malware-ridden downloads. It will also encrypt your internet traffic while maintaining a smooth connection. So improve your digital privacy and protection against hackers with one simple click. Get the special deal at NordVPN.com and enjoy safer internet daily. NordVPN. Cybersecurity built for every day.
It's game day at Jim's house, and the spread is impressive.
Mike's already done some damage with the hot wings, and now he's dropping back and going deep for another slice of pizza.
I sure hope he brought the Pepto.
Mike knows the Pepto-Bismol provides fast 5-symptom relief from unexpected stomach upsets. He's no rookie.
The way he's throwing back those nachos, he's the GOAT.
Be ready for game day with Pepto-Bismol.
When you have nausea, heartburn, indigestion, upset stomach, diarrhea.
Use as directed. Keep out of reach of children.
Air Comfort Service, heating, cooling, and insulation, weather.
Finally getting to see a little bit of sunshine on this Thursday afternoon, but it's cold to be out and about. 38. Tonight, increasing clouds down to 25. Friday, dry day, but a cold day again, 42. Some light rain and wet snow mixed on Friday night. It's not a big deal, 32. Slow clearing on Saturday. A couple of sprinkles and flurries Saturday night, and Sunday, sunny and 45. This is 97.1 FM Talk. Chief Meteorologist Dave Murray.
Ad paid for by the Sentinel Group. Attention Marines, military personnel, families, and contractors who were stationed at Camp Lejeune. Were you present at Camp Lejeune between August 1953 and December of 1987? You may be entitled to significant compensation. For nearly 34 years, those in the Marine Corps' base Camp Lejeune were exposed to contaminated drinking water, resulting in devastating injuries, including several forms of cancer, adverse birth outcomes, Parkinson's disease, and more. North Carolina's procedural laws have prevented victims from getting the justice they deserve. But passage of the Camp Lejeune Justice Act of 2022 would allow you or a loved one to file lawsuit seeking compensation for illnesses and injuries linked to the toxic water. Call today for your free consultation. 800-301-9153. Let our experienced attorneys fight to get you the compensation you deserve, and you pay nothing unless there's a recovery in your favor. Call 800-301-9153. That's 800-301-9153. Again, 800-301-9153.
Cards issued by Sutton Bank and Celtic Bank, members FDIC. Terms and conditions apply.
Are you the decision maker in your company? Consider this. For the first time in decades, there's a better option for a corporate card and spend management platform. Meet Ramp, the only corporate card and spend management system designed to help you spend less money so you can make more. Most corporate credit cards offer points as incentives, but those points amount to less than their worth in real cash value. Ramp's corporate cards offer you cash back, real money in your pocket. Plus, you control who spends what with each vendor. And Ramp software collects and verifies receipts automatically, which means you'll stop wasteful spending and close your books in hours instead of days. Businesses that use Ramp add up to 5% to their bottom line the first year. If you're a decision maker, adding Ramp could be one of the best decisions you've ever made. And now get $250 when you join Ramp. Just go to ramp.com/free. Ramp.com/free. ramp.com/free.
I'm Dr. Nick Barnes at Health From Within Family Chiropractic in Rock Hill. At Health From Within, our mission is to transform the way you manage your health by bringing you the truth about health and healing. We use proven techniques to remove interference in the nervous system and maximize health naturally, without drugs or surgery. Connect with me at healthfromwithinstl.com And join me for Maximize Living on this station every Sunday at 8 a.m. or download the Maximize Living podcast, Health from Within, STL.com.
Stop by O'Reilly Auto Parts for do-it-right deals. Save now on oil, wiper blades, cleaning supplies, and more. Shop your local O'Reilly Auto Parts store or online at O'ReillyAuto.com.
Auto Parts.
The choice of a lawyer is an important decision and should not be based solely on advertisements.
The people have spoken. I want to thank you, St. Louis, for voting Onder Law 2023's best St. Louis law firm.
When you're injured, call Onder Law at 314 or 618-9000000.
Big ideas, real debate, solid entertainment. It's all here on St. Louis's home for conservative talk, 97.1 FM Talk.
That is exactly what I needed to hear.
Thank God someone here knows what they're talking about.
That's us. That's right. Gotta love this American ride.
All right, you need to take the time and get the full picture.
Don't get me wrong. I love the ladies. I mean, they rev my engine, but they don't belong in the newsroom. It is Anchor Man, not Anchor Lady.
Goodness sake, kid. Keep your voice down. Your father's listening to the radio.
I'm not America's sweetheart.
This is the Annie Frey Show.
Welcome back to the Annie Frey Show. Thanks for being here with us on a Thursday afternoon. I have to keep reminding myself that it's Thursday, since today's my first day back since I left before. Well, I did the Friday before Christmas. Finished out the work week before Christmas and haven't been back since today. Tomorrow's Friday. That's pretty exciting.
Yeah, that's great, isn't it?
Yeah.
2-day week.
What day does it feel like for you?
Monday. Even though I was here Tuesday.
Because I'm here?
I think because we're all back together, and I was gone yesterday randomly. I just had to be gone yesterday for the kids.
I think that when people go into 2024, there's a lot of fresh beginnings. I'm invigorated to try to, grab the bull by the horns on a few things in my life in the first year. We did a video and we talked about making New Year's resolutions, and I said that my New Year's resolution was to know what my order is when I get up to the drive-thru, especially when I have 6 people in the car. But every time, I'm going to stop being the person who's like, can I have a minute? Because I do that, and apparently I have been shown the error of my ways, and I'm working very hard on getting back to, or not getting back, but just starting to be a better human being. But when you get back to work and you kind of have a fresh look at how things are going, I wonder how long it takes for most people to get settled back into, oh yeah, like the things about work that annoy you or the common annoyances that take place may not even be people, just processes or whatever the situation is. So you kind of have to make sure that you go into 2024 with really strong morale in your job, because it's a long haul. January is bleak.
January's bleak. February's bleak. It's not until March that you start to feel like, well, spring is finally getting close. I do think that part of the New Year's resolution thing is not just, it's a date on the calendar for me to try to set new expectations. I think it's because most people have at least a little bit, if not a lot, of time off during the Christmas through New Year's.
To make a lot of bad decisions.
Well, it's you get to relax for a second, kind of reset, examine your priorities, you get a little time off, and you get a little more energy, and you think, well, what can I do with this? And that's very much me, because I was like, I don't want to do a stupid New Year's resolution, but I found myself very motivated by not having to be at work to get a bunch of other stuff done that I've been meaning to do. And now I'm motivated to get a bunch of other stuff done.
Right. Yeah.
So I don't know if that's a resolution or not, but I am in that mindset.
Well, and when you're working in the grind and you're, spending every day trying to get the job done, in both of our instances, we have kids. So that when you get home, you got to do the parent thing. There's just such little time to do that type of stuff that when you have that break, it causes you to be a little extra motivated. Well, the Biden administration, they're focusing on the morale of their staff. Have you heard about this?
No.
The White House is planning to throw a morale booster. I wonder if it's a shot. Morale booster party amid renewed discontent among administration staff over its Israel policy. So stop for a second and think about the Democratic Party and the conundrum they're in for a side that is like, from the river to the sea, and the other's like, we think Jews should be able to exist. No, we have conflict. I mean, this is what is being faced in the Biden administration. The black and white conflict of those two stances, of being pro-Israel and being river to the sea, Rashida Tlaib, Palestinian state. Like, you can't have a Palestinian state. There's no two-state solution because there's no Palestinian state that exists in peace with the existence of Israel. It's not a possibility. So the Biden administration says, let's have a party. It's like, can you imagine being at this party? What does this party look like? When you show up, I'll read more from Fox News here. President Biden's millionaire chief of staff, I don't know why that's important, Jeff Zients, would throw the, quote, off-campus. Ooh. Going to the east side.
Not going to have it in the Rose Garden.
Party for hundreds of staffers to celebrate their work over the last 3 years and to give them a boost heading into what could be Biden's final year in office, according to Axios. The party plans come as one senior Biden education official resigned Wednesday in protest of the administration's policy on the war between Israel and Hamas. And as more than a dozen Biden campaign staffers similarly issued an anonymous letter expressing their discontent with the administration's approach to the war. If they can't get their own staff together, how are they going to get a party together to win in 2024? In November. Now I get to say November.
That seems so strange that they're doing a party. I can't quite crap my mind around what they're...
Did you just say crap my
I think I said crap my mind. I can't quite crap my pants.
That sounds like something Biden would do.
It depends. What is the point of this party? Is it to get their own staff all on the same page concerning the Middle East? Or is it to just boost their morale no matter what their opinion is?
Hey, guys, I know that you guys over here don't think that Israel has the right to exist. And I know that you guys over here think that those folks want to kill and murder you and clean you off of the face of the planet. But let's just come together and play some left, right, center and work it out. It's just left, left, left. I don't know how to play that game.
That guy rolled a right. You're fired.
Yeah, that's how we weed them out.
Imagine it'd be kind of like those junior high dances where the boys are on one side and the girls on the other. You'll have the pro-Palestinian people standing on the one side with their arms crossed, staring at the pro-Israel side on the other.
And there's punch and charcuterie in the middle.
Yeah.
Everybody feeling better now? Joe Biden standing in the middle.
I imagine it's just kale.
Kale.
Yeah, there's no meat.
There's no prosciutto. What does that party look like?
I can't figure out what their point is.
Imagine being on that staff and having this like core value that is so strong to your morals that you're writing anonymous letters and people are resigning and you're like, let's go to the party. They're calling it a morale booster. It might actually be a shot.
Yeah, maybe it is. Maybe it's just a shot of adrenaline to get them through the next couple months.
Did you see Joe Biden's red face?
No.
Did you see it? You didn't see Joe Biden walking out to the car after his vacation? He was like, everyone's saying he was super sunburned.
No.
Google Joe Biden sunburn.
Okay, I am.
Everyone's saying he's super sunburned. Now, you boys may or may, I don't know what you're into.
Well, that's already making me a little less interested in clicking on this. Images.
He's got...
Oh, okay.
Looks like he has a really rough sunburn.
Yeah, I could see that.
I haven't heard anybody say this, but there are dermal facial procedures that you can get that refine your skin and refresh your skin.
Oh, I know where you're going with this.
That cause you to look super sunburned. And nobody's saying that. Everyone's saying that he was just laying on the beach for too long or maybe fell asleep and they
it
left
does
him out
look
there.
spotty.
I haven't seen like up close, but everyone's talking about his sunburn and like people are really saying this. If you can't take care of your own skin health, how can you run the country? I'm like, look at the effing border.
Oh my gosh.
Like,
you can't take care of your
this is not the smoking gun that you've been looking for. This is maybe a poor decision, but I also think it's probably a skin treatment.
Yeah, probably. It does look like that. When I was a late teenager, I think I had something like this done on my back because I had bad back acne.
I don't
know
need
why
to know
I said
any
that.
of this.
I shouldn't have said that.
Like, I don't know why I said
strawberry yogurt, and I'm reconsidering it. Can I have the trash can?
Yeah, you can.
Don't ever talk about your back knee.
Well, it's gone now. I had the treatment. So you're not ever going to see a zit on Joe Biden today forward. I guarantee it.
It would make sense that you would get that kind of treatment while you were going to be gone for a long time, but I don't understand why you would do it like right when you were going to go out in the public. I've had, I can't remember what it was called, but it's some sort of microdermabrasion, a diamond something, but they take a stone over your face and they just make it so that your skin is forced to reproduce new healthy skin or something like that.
It's like a cabaret, diamond cabaret.
No, I thought you were talking about a wine.
Is it the Diamond Glow?
Yeah, it is. Yes, you got one of those for Terry, didn't you?
Yes.
At Ooh La La Spa in Glen Carbon. And it was wonderful, but I did look very red afterwards, and you can't put makeup on it to cover it up for a certain amount of time. So you just look red, and you just don't go anywhere for maybe 12 hours, unless you're the president of the United States. And why did they let him go outside?
Yeah, I guess when you're the president of the United States, you can just do whatever you want. And they probably said, Mr. President, don't go outside.
I know
you came on a Caribbean vacation, but you need to stay inside.
I'm going to pose to you
caution to the wind
that this president doesn't do anything that he wants.
Yeah, I agree, but I think there's the daily details. I think that there are things in a given day that he says, I'm going to put my foot down about this. I am definitely
having ice cream.
Yeah, like that, the little things that they're like, oh, I wouldn't do that. And he's like, now you listen to me. I'm the president of the United States. I'm going to have that ice cream. And he feels like he's getting something done.
He did have a skin cancer lesion removed from his face. I think it was in 2023.
And they told him not to. And he said, I'm going to have that lesion removed anyway.
I don't know. I feel like people are really leaning in heavy to the sunburn thing. And I'm wondering if that's even it. And will anybody ask that question at a press conference? I doubt it. But I'm kind of curious. All they talk about is the color of Donald Trump's skin.
I hope they do. Mr. President, Mr. President. And he's like, oh, did you have a microdermabrasion done? I don't know. I was in the Caribbean.
In light of Donald Trump's skin being mostly orange all of the time, like you've never seen, why does Joe Biden look like he's sunburned? Didn't he just have a skin cancer procedure done? Is the president okay? I actually think that the second half of that question is a fair question.
That actually sounds like the questions that do get asked.
Yeah, that's how you get it in there.
Mm-hmm.
You just say something crappy about Trump first.
Right.
Yeah. What did you say? You have crap on your mind or something? Crap my mind?
I crap my mind.
The YouTube live chat poll for today is grade your outlook on 2024. Do you give it an A, a B/C, a D, or an F? And we got people weighing in right now, and I will read a few of them here. Aaron says F, brace yourselves.
All right.
That's kind of terrifying.
Done.
Chris says poll D, I give up trying to be hopeful after the last 4 years. Chris says 2024 is at best is a D, 2 wars, China will move on Taiwan, an election that will be unlike any we have ever seen, an open border that will collapse our systems, and $34 trillion of debt. Yay. Wolf says, I chose B/C. I hope this year will be better. The nutty goofball says, Ryan, how do you have time to comment on that?
I found that picture online.
I was just going to say, you even put your picture up there. I say D because regardless of the 2024 election outcome, I believe chaos will follow. That's very true.
Nutty goofball.
What's crazier? What creates a more crazy scenario? If Trump wins or if Trump loses?
If Trump wins.
Trump wins, yeah.
Yeah. If Trump loses, the Republican Party has some deep soul searching to do. Conservative voters are going to have to figure out where to go next.
Well, the majority of those conservative voters will just think it wasn't an honest election.
And then what? Yeah, I mean, there's going to be a big big question that has to be answered. But if Trump wins, the country will not know what to do. Nobody will know what to do.
Bill says my grade depends on the elections, B or C, depending on who controls the executive and legislative branches. OG Thor. Poll question. F. I have a very bad feeling about 2024. Something wicked this way comes. Remember that last election year, 2020, was like, expect worse. Leading into it, you think? Without COVID, I mean, the environment for chaos and disorder in 2020? Good grief. I hate saying these things out loud because sometimes I fear I manifest them, but what could possibly happen that would cause more disorder and chaos than COVID? I will not comply.
I don't know. Yeah, let's just brace ourselves.
Eric said, I voted D because how I feel now, but as far as an outlook, I guess I should have voted B or C. Fortunately, I can't tell the future, but far as an outlook, a B or C would be great. So that's kind of a hopeful one. What do you got? I just remembered that Trisha is coming next, so we can't talk about it in the next segment. I'm pretty happy about it.
So I'm going to do it now, and I'm going to tell you that I actually am going to vote an A on this poll because I'm comparing this year to the last few, which personally have been fine, but as far as the country is concerned, I just think we're really in a trough, and it doesn't mean it can't get worse, but my guess is that it will get better.
I'm going to vote a B. I usually start out the year with like pretty high outlook on it, and then I let the year dictate to me whether or not it ends up being a B or a C.
Then it's President's Day and everything's downhill.
Yeah. Yep. But yeah, I think B. I think that it'll be a good year. And it's like some of our other commenters have said, I don't put as much weight on how my year turns out in politics. There's so many other things in life outside of politics that can help you have a better year than just if Joe Biden wins again. Yeah, things are going to be really bad, but it's not the end of the world.
Can I blow your minds? A.
Oh, please do explain.
I have a confident sense that what is to be is what is supposed to be. I pray that we get our country back in line. I keep seeing stories about how I should pull up the actual article. Maybe I'll try to do that at the 2:45 segment when we revisit this after Annie, Are You Okay? In the next segment with Trisha. But about how the younger generation is turning more to prayer. Have you seen that study?
No.
That's out there? Fox did a story on that last night, I think, with Trace Gallagher, Fox News at Night. And how there are just, I see signs in our news stories, in the comment section, which I read a lot of comment sections. For instance, about that guy in Clark County that jumps over and attacks that judge because he didn't get probation. A lot of people are reacting to things like that saying enough is enough. A lot of people are far enough away from what we dealt with in COVID. They're far enough away that they are willing to say, I will never go through that again. And to me, it feels like we have collectively learned some lessons. And I truly feel like, at least at this point, on January 4th of 2024, I feel like all of the eggs in the basket of who wins in November is such a short-sighted vision about what life is supposed to be like. There are so many precious things. There are so many happy things. There are so many important things that take place in between now and November that we allow ourselves to get so wrapped up in anxiety and worry and fear. And at the end of the day, you get to vote. You hope your vote counts. I understand that that is a concern for people. That's all you get to do when it comes to actually affecting the outcome of that election. But there are countless things that you can do right now to improve your culture, your community, society as a whole, one individual person in your life that you can bless. And I just kind of feel like people are kind of sick of the way that we've been collectively turning over our decision-making to the capital T, they, them. The idea that there are people who say, oh, you're not supposed to say that, or you're not supposed to do that because they're not going to let you get away with that. That people are getting pretty sick of that they. And that's good, because that is American to the core. And it's not to say that being American is about pushing people away in your life or about doing everything by yourself. The most American thing is to say we don't need a government overlord because we have each other. The most American thing that exists is to say that there isn't a government a politician, there isn't an elected official, there isn't a bureaucrat, and there isn't a program, and there isn't a regulation that's going to come in and save me, because I'm not waiting for any of that, because it's never going to happen. They're going to take my money and make me pay for something that is subpar to what my neighbor and myself can do together. The missing piece of the puzzle, which is lost because everybody is tweeting and commenting and fighting their battles in digital spaces, the missing piece is just showing up somewhere and applying yourself and being seen. And I don't think that the left gets that. I think the left has words and words only. And their only way that they win, the only way that the left wins in any of this, is if we just sit there and shut up because we're too afraid to speak up. And I'm telling you, don't speak up, show up. Like, be there, be seen, help people, be a real human being who may think differently on this point or this policy or that policy, but be seen and show up. Because the most American thing about we the people and the Declaration of Independence, which is like the coolest thing that's ever been written. People who came here and they're like, we're done with you overlords. No. And, oh yeah, by the way, we'll die for that. The coolest thing about that is that none of that is effective if we don't have each other. So it's us against the world. But that's the way America's always been. And we're good at it. I think we'll be good at it in 2024. And maybe it'll result in a happy November. But if it doesn't, we'll still be fine. So I give it an A. All right, Trisha, I'm done. Get in here.
I like it. No, I like
okay?
everything you just said. That sounds good.
You buy it?
I do, and I don't think you're way off either with people they're ready to maybe not have politics or the big T they be in control. It's got to be, life has got to be about something else.
I'm going to be so crabby in February. Soak it
Let's
in right now.
enjoy it now.
Yeah, take it while it's good. All right. Annie, are you okay with Trisha when we come back?
This is the Annie Frey Show. Follow Annie on Twitter @Annie Frey Show.
Stewart's American Mortgage. Do you see Brad's face?
No, what happened?
Man, Leo would have liked to be in here for that one. I'm pretty sure. Are you okay? Are you good?
I don't know what happened. The music just stopped.
Who is that singing?
Leonard Skinnard.
Oh,
Yeah,
man, I was going to say
Leonard
CCR.
No.
Is that close? Is that a respectable guess?
Yeah. I mean, it's not totally irrespectable.
Southern rock?
Yeah.
I'm just trying to give Stewie a buffer.
Take your time.
Stewie.
Okay. Here you go.
314-324-4440.
No, that's not a part of it. Now start now.
NMLS number 2267115.
No.
I'm not done yet. Don't go
Okay.
to the next commercial.
Okay.
Abruptly. Now?
Now.
Stewart's American Mortgage is the home of the Bagel Loan. And the Bagel Loan is a smart financial move for a lot of different reasons, especially, though, if you're looking to purchase a home. Because when you get your mortgage through Stewie at Stewart's American Mortgage, you're first of all going to have access to the Bagel Loan, which you don't have anywhere else because he made the Bagel Loan. He calls it the Bagel Loan because a bagel looks like a zero. And that reminds you pay $0 in closing costs, $0 in closing costs. You know what those closing costs mount up to at the right when you're like real super excited, you got the house, everything's great. Oh, here's thousands of dollars of closing costs. Well, not when you use the Bagel Loan with Stewie at Stewart's American Mortgage. When you reach out to him and talk to him, he's going to be able to help you get the low rates, the lowest rates that are available to you. He's going to be honest and upfront with you. He's going to take care of you from start to finish, and he can offer a really super fast close, less than 2 weeks even. Reach out to him and talk to him about your mortgage situation. You can do refinances with the Bagel Loan as well by calling or texting 314-324-4440. That's 314-324-4440, and let him know that Annie sent you. He'll be glad to talk to you about your needs. Google the Bagel Loan, NMLS number 226715.
So, you got a new gadget over the holidays. Don't forget to listen to your favorite station on Odyssey. Unwrapped a new Amazon Echo or Google Home? Be sure to tell your smart speaker to play your favorite station. Received a new Sonos speaker? Check on Odyssey on the Sonos app for access to hundreds of stations. Got a new phone? Don't forget that the Odyssey app is the only way you can jump to your favorite show with Rewind. No matter what you received this year, listen to your favorites with Odyssey. Download the free Odyssey app today. AUDACY.
Hey guys, Glover here from my friends at ThrottleNet. So I'm so very proud to have represented the guys at ThrottleNet for all of these years. They are the IT geniuses. George and Mike are the owners. Fantastic guys. They can do all of your IT. They can do a portion of your IT. They have the best Apple support team. Their response time is under 2 minutes. Think about that, under 2 minutes. Something goes sideways with your IT, and they are solving your problem. And they are solving your problem within 2 minutes. Now, let's talk about cybersecurity. Most companies in St. Louis don't have cyber liability insurance. You get hit, you're on the hook, you're probably out of business. With ThrottleNet, if we represent you, we protect you. The first $500,000 that someone hits you for, which isn't going to happen, but if it does, we pay it. $500,000. That's what you're covered for with ThrottleNet. Go to throttlenet.com/DGS for all the information.
At Lakeside Renovation and Design, our secret sauce isn't just the tools we use or the materials we choose. It's our people. We're not just builders. We're local craftsmen, highly skilled in our trades. Our team takes immense pride in transforming homeowners' visions into reality. We're not just in the business of remodeling. We're in the business of making homes more beautiful, comfortable, and valuable. What sets us apart? Integrity and honesty. Our craftsmen exceed expectations because we care. Lakeside, where every nail, every cut, every detail is a testament to our commitment to you.
Mark Cox here for Hampton Manor of Wentzville, the area's newest senior living community, just off Highway 70 north of the Lake St. Louis exit and across from SSM St. Joseph Hospital. This is resort-style living without the resort-style price, a single-story community in a brand-new building, easily accessible, and run by a man whose motto is, it's their turn to be spoiled. Check out Hampton Manor of Wentzville at wentzvilleassistedliving.com.
You've listened to 97.1 FM Talk. You've heard of Doug Voss of Voss Financial and Safe Money Radio, as he has been a staple as the financial expert on the station for many years. You can hear him on Safe Money Radio several times a weekend right here on 97.1 FM Talk. And you can talk to Doug Voss directly. Here's his number. Call Doug at 844-676-SAFE. That is 844-676-7233. Doug Voss is a registered representative. Securities offered through D.H. Hill Securities, LLLP. Member FINRA and SIPC.
You're listening to the Annie Frey Show live from the Air Comfort Service Heating, Cooling, and Insulation Studio. Air Comfort Service is proud to support Greater St. Louis Honor Flight. Sign your veteran up for the Honor Flight today at gslhonorflight.org. And for heating services, visit aircomfortservice.com.
Odyssey is your home for all the audio that matters to you. Download the Odyssey app today to listen to 97.1 FM Talk, even when you don't have a radio. Always streaming at 971talk.com. This is the Annie Frey Show.
Welcome back to the Annie Frey Show. It's Thursday. We got Trish in here. Trisha, how many days have you worked this week?
Hi. What day is it?
How many days?
3.
Let me ask it this way.
3.
How many days have you shown up this week?
I've been here all 3 days.
Really?
Yeah.
Good for you.
Thank you.
You too, Brad.
Same.
Not you, Ryan.
No.
2.
Slacker.
No.
2 of 3.
I just got here.
Yeah. I need to do that more often.
I'm
Turn
fresh.
these questions back on you.
You're not fast enough.
No, I'm not.
Welcome back, by the way.
Thank you. It's good to be back. I hate this term, but I learned it from the young people, the Sunday scaries, where you're the idea that on Sunday you're like, oh no, I got to go back to school or I got to go back to work. I still every once in a while have that really quick question, do I have homework? Do you ever get that still?
No, but I get it going from spring or from winter into spring, because that's when I would start working at the golf courses again. I'd have to go back to work.
No.
And it was like, uh-oh, weather's getting nice. I'm going to have to wake up at 5 a.m. again.
You don't feel like that working here?
No.
A full-time grown-up job, he doesn't feel that.
No, but just for a second when the weather starts to turn nice, I'm like, oh no, I'm going to have to go fill divots.
I feel like I have homework.
Yeah, well, I didn't I put this out on our Facebook page. Oh, by the way, we're like 800 people, 800 likes or follows away on Facebook from 20,000. And we've literally been like that for maybe 3 years because Facebook decided in COVID, like, screw all of you conservative people. So if I could ask a New Year's favor from you, if you haven't liked us on Facebook yet, would you follow us or whatever? I don't even know what I should have done better at that. But I would like to get to 20,000 because we're so close. I put it up there on Facebook, and I am not really 100% ready to just let go of Christmas, but I am happy to be back. So let's do it.
And now it's time to play Is Annie Okay With This?
Angry pastor tries to push man's head into McDonald's fryer.
Brad.
My bad.
Angry pastor?
Yeah, he happens to be a pastor. It's a man out of North Carolina. He was arrested after police say he tried to push his wife's coworker into a McDonald's deep fryer. The suspect went to the restaurant after his wife called him because the employees were, quote, disrespecting her. It took several workers to pull the man off of the employee, who suffered a large contusion to his forehead and right eye and scratches on his neck. Thankfully, his face didn't hit the fry oil. Annie, are you okay with spouses fighting each other's professional battles?
No.
Ooh.
Did Jared call you again? No. It's a pastor who's married to a woman who works at McDonald's?
Yes.
No.
He just happens to be a pastor.
And he just happened to be wanting some chicken nuggies.
And his wife felt disrespected, so he came and took matters into his own hands.
See, I almost need to have more details about the husband getting involved, because if somebody like physically assaulted her or something like that, I have a lot more patience for a man coming in and regulating. Yeah. If it was like, you said you were going to clean out the fryer today and you didn't do it, and then I'd know.
You called her miss instead of ma'am.
Yeah.
Your face is going in the fry oil.
Yeah, I don't think that is the case. But I wonder this regularly. Is there some sort of like civilian justice that we're missing these days? Like, because people aren't. This is what I hear from people. Nobody's afraid of getting punched in the face anymore. Mm-hmm. And if we had a little bit of that, maybe people would be a little more respectful of other people. So, I don't know.
Yeah. I am afraid of that, for the record, every day from noon to 3.
Florida woman sues Hershey over
How's my best friend?
I don't know. She's back at work today.
It's more of an emotional punch in the face, isn't it?
We don't have a relationship anymore because we're both back at work.
Florida woman sues Hershey over lack of pumpkin design on holiday-themed candy. A woman filed a federal class action lawsuit after she claimed the company's product didn't match the photos depicted on the wrappers. She said she bought Reese's peanut butter pumpkins, and despite the packaging depicting a jack-o'-lantern, the candies were shaped more like eggs. She is seeking at least $5 million.
What? I love this lady.
Annie, are you okay with Reese's pumpkins and Christmas trees?
I think that the holiday Reese's are better than regular Reese's.
I'm not going to argue with you. The holiday Snickers are way better. Oh my gosh, they're so good. They're like egg Snickers and stuff. There's just the caramel ratio in those is off the
I was going to
charts.
say, you change the shape of the snack and it changes the interior, doesn't it?
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Am I the only one that's never had a holiday-shaped
I
Snickers?
haven't, but I was just...
It's
guys.
only Reese's for me.
Guys. Well, Reese's are more available.
Don't misgender me.
Snickers are a little
Yeah,
bit
me
harder
neither.
to find, but I think, usually Walgreens will have them. Yeah.
You got a homework assignment now.
I guess so. I guess I got to find you guys some holiday-shaped Snickers.
Yep.
They're going to be 3 years old.
I'm good. I don't understand the crazy world we live in where someone gets $5 million for that. Like, at best, correct the candy or the wrapper. But even then, maybe no, don't. Leave it as it is. It makes no sense.
She paid like $4.89 for it. The lawsuit's ridiculous, right? I just didn't know if you like the candies. I agree they taste better.
Yeah, they're better that way.
Walmart letting customers buy now, pay later at self-checkout. The retailer has partnered with installment payment platform Affirm to offer Walmart to offer customers pay over time options when they use self-checkout kiosks at more than 4,500 stores. When using the buy now, pay later service, shoppers select a repayment term of 3, 6, or 12-month installments, and they're shown the total cost up front. Affirm says that there are no hidden or late fees, so users will never pay $1 more than they agreed to. Annie, are you okay with this concept?
This is like layaway, only you don't have to wait to pay for stuff.
Or to take it in layaway, you used to have to start paying for it and they'd hold it, right?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like this is where you get to make installments, but you get to take the stuff instead of, what a good concept that layaway was for people who needed things where you could lay it away and you could come in and make payments. And then when you fulfilled your payment, you got to take the stuff. Novel concept, although this might be one plus up from just people taking stuff.
That's
Hey, that's what they're thinking.
Maybe if we can get a down payment.
Even if we can get 50%, it's better than nothing.
If we can get 10% on that massive TV. This seems like a disaster. That not only is this not going to work for Walmart, but it is going to put people into worse debt
That's
who
what I
don't
was
know
thinking.
how to use money
But they
anyway.
Walmart doesn't care about that.
Well, I'm just saying for everybody. I don't think it's going to be good for Walmart either. I don't think
Walmart's
Walmart's
going to
see.
theirs in the end anyway, because these
Yeah.
people are just going to walk out on them.
Well, I guess that's true.
Pittsburgh family dog eats $4,000 in cash.
Ah.
The dog's name is Cecil, and his owners say he's normally a very good boy. Unfortunately, he ate
Not a
about
good boy.
$2,000 worth of money on the counter meant for a contractor and tore up another $2,000.
Oh.
They recovered a lot of it, washed it off, taped it back together,
Excuse
and
me,
took it
what?
to the bank.
Wait, they recovered a lot of it?
Yeah, they
washed
followed
it
them
off,
around with a
taped
money
it back
bag.
together and took it to the bank. It doesn't say exactly how they recovered it, but we could use our imagination.
That is some wild money laundering.
They ended up losing only about $500 of the $4,000. Annie, are you okay with feeding dogs table food?
How exciting would it be to be following the dog, be like, oh, we got another one, we got another one.
Well, if it wasn't your money and you found that dog, it would be amazing.
This is the greatest. Look at this dog.
I just got it from the pound. Look what it's doing.
Just imagine taking him to the dog park and not telling anybody else there.
You know people would be all over that
Oh, yeah.
poop.
Man, that would be so fun to watch
Do we
people
know
react to that.
Do we know what don't try this at home. Don't do this. This sounds like a really bad radio promotion from the 80s. We're going to feed the dog $100 bills and we're going to let it poop places.
Just wait for it.
Yeah.
This is going to be a part of drug busts now. Sir, I'm going to need you to open up that dog.
Oh, I don't like that.
Did we know what the bills were?
50s and hundreds.
$4,000. That's a lot of bills.
Why did the dog decide that it wanted to eat that?
I don't know.
Dogs just don't usually go, oh, paper.
Normally a good boy, but
I don't know, man.
every once in a while they do.
Dogs will eat whatever. Sometimes.
Man, my dog, when we first got her, well, it was Katie's dog, and she was not mine yet. And so when Katie would leave and we were engaged, that dog would be like, oh, you think you're my boss now? Well, why don't you wait till you leave for a minute? Yeah, and I mean, this is like a slow-moving St. Bernard. I'd come home, and she'd just be laying there, ooh, and I'd look over the trash can, destroyed. Like, you couldn't even possibly do that. You can't move fast enough.
Is the dog okay?
Yes.
I will feed Rosie from the table, especially if it's meat. If it's, I try not to feed her, I don't know, crap food that we feed our kids.
I know you try not to like give them the French fries.
Yeah.
I tried not to give them
man.
You can have a little like, broccoli.
I hate myself.
I fed Annie's,
Crap.
I fed Annie's dog a whole plate full of snickerdoodles.
That my daughter made.
Whoops.
That you didn't intend to.
I didn't intend to.
She loved them.
My dog is small. Rosie's a little taller. I left it on the counter. And then I came out and I was like, where are those snickerdoodles?
You
And then
guys-
I found a tore up bag. I was like, oh.
You guys got the gooey butter text. We got, no, not from now.
Oh.
From the last day I did, we got gooey butter cake.
Ryan's checking his phone. I got
We
a
all
text.
had a little
yeah.
piece of it. I think it was from Quick Rick or Todd? Todd gave us the
Quick
banana.
Rick gave us the
Gooey butter cake?
butter cake, yeah.
It was the butter cake.
It was the butter cake.
Everybody here had a piece of it, and I took theirs home because I was having people over. I was going to just feed it. Rosie ate the whole thing.
Oh, Rosie.
There was
Come
there
on.
was no explosion that we found yet.
Oh, no.
But I mean, like, that was before Christmas. We came home and we all were like, oh no.
Yeah. I guess
But
I'm
she
just going
handled
to
it.
start checking dogs' butts just to be safe now.
If you had hung around Rosie, you could have gotten gooey butter cake.
Yeah, gooey butter cake or money or whatever.
Snickerdoodles.
Colorado
Figurines.
Colorado
Snickerdoodles.
burglar busted after using Uber as a getaway car. A thief in Colorado ransacked a plumbing store, lifting thousands of dollars worth of merchandise before calling an Uber to pick him up. The store owner noticed the man and called 911. When police arrived, they found the Uber driver waiting nearby. Police intercepted the suspect as he approached his rideshare.
All right, Uber driver.
Whoops.
What
Annie,
if you get called, Ryan? Sorry, Trisha. What if you get called and you're like sitting there waiting for them to come out, and the police are like, "Do you know you're a getaway car? You're an accomplice."
Not that exact situation, but I did have a woman jump in my car once and go, drive, drive, drive. And I was like, what am I getting into?
Did you drive?
It was in Sauget, I kid you not. And I drove because I was getting away from whatever she was running from.
You believed her.
I don't know what was happening.
What ended
I
up
thought
happening?
somebody was going to start running after her and shooting, and then I was going to be involved.
What were you driving at the time?
A Ford Fiesta.
It's just like those just like those memes.
That's right.
With the little there you show people doing the ropes for exercise, but they're little people, and then it zooms out and it's somebody doing that on shoelaces.
That's what came to mind.
Away. It's going 6 miles an hour.
Yeah.
The
power
criminal
wheel.
is knocking on the window as you go.
I'm like, okay. And then I drove about 15 feet, and I'm like, I'm out of gas, though. I got to stop here.
Wait, were you there to pick somebody else up?
No, I was there to pick up somebody. I had gotten the call, and I arrived. I think it was somewhere
And you
down
don't know if it was it
at
this
one of
woman you
those
were supposed to
one
pick
of
up?
those clubs, and a woman comes running out, and she jumps in my car. I'm not kidding, and she goes, "Drive, drive, drive," and I drove.
What did you say?
I did not say anything.
Where did you go?
I said, "Close the door," because I'm getting out of here.
Did you
hands and feet inside
follow
the
the
vehicle?
appropriate route, or did you just get the heck out of Dodge?
I think that
Dodgy.
I would. The parking lot's pretty long, so I had long enough to see where I would get to the road.
You just drove in circles.
I'm driving.
What else? Tell me more.
I need more information.
That really did happen once, though, at Fast Eddie's. I was picking up somebody there, and this lady was really, really drunk, and she was with her boyfriend. Separate story. But they get in the car, and they're like, we need to get down to Columbia, Illinois. We need to go fast. And I didn't know why. A lot of times you ask, but you don't ask right away. So I'm like, okay, let's go. And I drove literally 10 feet to that gas station. I'm like, I got to fill up, though. And then they go, forget it. And they just left and went back into Fast Eddie's.
Did you get paid?
Yeah, he tipped me $20. It was
What
a good
was the
night.
question on that
Are
one?
you okay with ride shares? I just wanted to
Yeah.
tell you the story.
Yes.
Yeah, me too.
Cool.
Yes. Depends on who my driver is, though, I'll be honest. I'm going to do that next time I'm on vacation and using a ride share. I'm just going to jump in and yell, drive, drive, drive.
Yeah, your family's still back there.
Yeah, I got to get away
What's she
from 'em.
doing?
All right, let's get to the results of today's YouTube live chat poll. When we come back, don't go away.
Yeah, go on and run tell your little boy freeze.
This is the Annie Frey Show. Follow Annie on Twitter at Annie Frey Show.
Thomas Helbig of the Retirement Advisory Group. You can find him online at retirementkey.com. Are you looking to make sure that your retirement is ready to go? When you are nearing retirement, you have a different mindset. You are not where I am right now in my late 30s, and I'm saving and sacrificing, and that's just going to be the name of the game for a while. When retirement is right around the corner, you're in your late 50s, you're in your 60s, you need to shift your mentality. And Thomas Helbig, Bob Kershaw, and Tammy Kershaw of the Retirement Advisory Group are there to help you with that process. You can find them online at retirementkey.com. That's retirementkey.com. And you can find out how they will make sure that you get your own personalized, structured income plan, so that you know what to expect, so that you have confidence and you can get rid of that worry that you have about what's on the other side of that day of retirement. Call them at 314-993-9494. That's 314-993-9494. And schedule your appointment today. Tell them Annie sent you. Find them online at retirementkey.com.
What better way to support your nutrition than with the multivitamin that was created right here in St. Louis? Neovitin Original Multivitamin was created by St. Louis physician Dr. Ribicki to support his own nutrition when he needed it most. Now, Neovitin Original Multivitamin is formulated with sensible doses of vitamins, minerals, antioxidants, and Dr. Ribicki's proprietary blend to give you nutritional support you won't find anywhere else. Neovitin is now conveniently available through our no-obligation monthly subscription. Cancel or pause at any time, and shipping is free. Support your nutrition with a subscription to Neovitin at neovitin.com today.
This is a special alert to all Americans who own a vehicle with less than 200,000 miles with an auto warranty about to expire or with no warranty coverage at all. Due to a decline in the economy, CarShield is announcing a low-cost month-to-month vehicle protection plan that is now available to the public to save any driver out-of-pocket expenses on future auto repairs. Call now to find out how you can pay almost nothing for covered auto repairs. Yes, you heard that correctly. Pay almost nothing for covered auto repairs. An open phone line has been established for all drivers to call for a free quick quote. Call 800-652-5241 now. Drivers who are covered will not have to pay for covered repairs again. This protection plan is at an all-time low. Additionally, drivers who activate this vehicle protection today will also receive free roadside assistance, free towing, and car rental options at no additional cost. Call us for your free quick quote today. 800-652-5241. That's 800-652-5241. What do you have to lose? Call 800-652-5241. Again, 800-652-5241.
Tony La Russa here. Has your loss of energy and weight gain thrown you a curveball in your relationship? If so, go see my friends over at Victory Men's Health. Discreet, first-class professionals will help you hit those curves out of the park. VictoryMen'sHealth.com. That's VictoryMen'sHealth.com.
The Annie Frey YouTube live chat poll of the day is based on your outlook on 2024. Grade it. Is it an A, B/C, D, or F? You can grade it on any criteria you want, whether it's personal, professional, or for the country. I think we're talking about the country quite a bit, but it's up to you. 250 right now. This time check is sponsored by Jerry Kelly Heating and Air Conditioning.
It's time for a $98 furnace tune-up.
It's Mark Reardon, the very latest on that crazy Jerry Springer-like attack of the judge in Las Vegas in the courtroom. That was nuts. Also, Michael Goodwin from the New York Post coming up in the 3 o'clock hour. It's all after Fox News.
This is the Annie Frey Show. Follow Annie on Twitter at Annie Frey Show.
Welcome back to the Annie Frey Show. Great packed show today. I encourage you to check out the podcast. Hans von Spakovsky talked to us about the Epstein files and also about Trump's legal challenges, especially those about him being on a ballot in certain states. We talked to Tyrus about basically common sense and culture going on today, but also we talked to him about Star Wars, and he just kind of went.
That was great.
I teed him up. And I sat and listened.
You said the word Star Wars, and then he's like, "Oh, hang on a second. Do we have time for another segment?
Yeah,
because I got some thoughts."
I'm like, I'll tell the Attorney General to hold on,
yeah.
Which I kind of had to do.
Yeah.
Andrew Bailey was joining us as well, and he was talking to us about the wrap up of 2023 and what's in store for 2024. So lots of great stuff on the Annie Frey Show podcast. You having a good day or a bad day, Ryan?
Good.
Brad?
Yeah, I'm having a good day.
All right. You want to know who's having a bad day?
Yeah.
Yes.
Florida man.
Uh-oh.
Is suing Dunkin' Donuts for $50,000. Now, $50,000. When you find out that Reese's is getting sued for $5 million because they don't have jack-o'-lantern faces, that's absurd, right? If they were suing for like maybe a year's supply of Reese's, you'd be like, okay, that's kind of funny.
Yeah, she'd probably settle for that.
$5 million. That's ridiculous. $50,000 seems like a more intentional amount of money.
Yeah.
Tell me if you think $50,000 is the correct amount here. A Florida man is suing Dunkin' Donuts for $50,000. This is according to Fox News, claiming a toilet at one of its locations exploded on him and covered him in feces and urine. The plaintiff, Paul Karak, claims the incident was traumatic and left him with sustained severe and long-term injuries.
Yeah, that's way worse than not getting a pumpkin-shaped Reese's.
I think my problem is
I like that that's our better or worse than the wrong Reese's.
Well, that's what I was going to say. I'm kind of approaching this as, would I get covered in urine and feces for $50,000? Like, where's my price point? That's how I'm approaching this.
What is your price point?
I don't know.
Unlike Reese's at $5 million,
yeah,
this might not be enough.
I don't know. I think I'd probably do it for 50. I might do it for less. Depending on what it was like, like what's the consistency?
What are the options?
What's the consistency? That's what I need to know before I agree.
Didn't think we could top your back acne conversation from before, but here we are.
Yeah, that was a gross one.
It's a gross one.
I shouldn't have said that. As I was saying it, I realized I shouldn't have.
He argues store workers were aware the toilet was problematic as prior incidents with the toilet had occurred, according to the lawsuit. He's seeking pre-judgment interest, post-judgment interest, and costs of action, plus a trial by jury. Smart move, according to the lawsuit. I'm not mad at this.
Where's your price point on this, though?
More than $50,000. Like, how much I'm willing to get paid?
Yeah.
It's above 50.
100?
Minimum of 6 figures.
So 100.
I don't know.
I'm asking at least 7 figures if I'm filing this lawsuit.
I don't know. I'm thinking about my family. And how? Never mind. I don't know.
It also depends on
realistic.
how fast you can shout.
It's easy to say 7 figures when it's not realistic. But if somebody had $100,000 sitting on the table and that dog wasn't hanging around, you're going, I think I'm going to do this. I think.
Yeah. I'm in.
That's life.
I mean, I already said I'm in at 50.
That's
so
life
I can't
changing. And I'm
backtrack now.
talking post-tax dollar amount.
Yeah.
YouTube live chat poll for today. Grade your outlook on 2024. A, B/C, D, F. You said?
I said A.
I said B.
And I said A. We were very optimistic on the show today. Doug said today's poll is hard to answer. I said F, based solely on November. Vicky said D for the poll. Don't have much confidence in anything changing right now. Feel like it could get worse. Terry said, I voted B/C. I'm hopeful for a good year personally and professionally, but nervous about the outcome of the 2024 election and overall direction of our country. That's pretty realistic.
Yeah, I agree.
Charles said, I voted A because all the economic signs are very positive, flashing green at this time, and I don't see a reason in the short term for negativity. I'll have what he's having. And Jack said, I give it a C because election isn't until November and change in leadership isn't until next year. Some of the Democrats will be tempered in the radical policies or risk the boot. The results on today's YouTube live chat poll, which you can vote each and every day on the Annie Frey YouTube live broadcast. 12% said F, 14% said A, 24% said D, and 50% of almost 200 votes said B/C. Thank you for being with us here today. I'll be back again tomorrow, as will the whole crew, so keep it here on 97.1 because Mark Reardon Show up next.
What do you want from me? I'm not a married sweetheart.
Mark Cox here. Do you need to sell your home, but you need time to find your next home or to build that new construction home you've only been dreaming about? Gloria Liu with Your Home Sold Guaranteed Realty, St. Louis real estate expert, has a program for you. Gloria understands that those two issues keep would-be home sellers from moving into their dream home. So Gloria's developed her Sell and Stay program that allows you to sell, get your cash, and stay in the home for up to 12 months. Gloria's Sell and Stay program takes the pressure off. It gives you time to find your next home. Plus, now that you have the cash from your current home, it gives you leverage when negotiating your next home. It's a great solution to help get some of our listeners unstuck and moving. If that sounds like you, call the one I trust at 314-325-6888. That's 314-325-6888. Or visit GloriaHasTheBuyers.com. That's GloriaHasTheBuyers.com.
When you visit thediamondshop.net, you're going to find the reliable family-owned and operated jewelers right there in Clayton, but on the internet at thediamondshop.net. I think it's important to remind people that they have 6 months, same as cash. Which means if you're going in to make a purchase, maybe you're going to pop the question sometime this year, or maybe you are looking for something special to mark an important occasion, a retirement, or maybe a birth or something like that. When you go into the Diamond Shop to talk to the experts, the people who can make sure that you feel fully confident in the knowledge that you're gaining about your purchase, that you're getting exactly what you need, you're getting quality, that your investment, your hard-earned dollar is going to a piece that you can be incredibly proud of, the Diamond Shop is going to deliver on that each and every time. They buy gold, they appraise jewelry, they can do custom jewelry, and they are one click away by visiting them at thediamondshop.net. You can also become a VIP online and get access to special events and opportunities to save. Find the people who we go shop at thediamondshop.net.
What's your favorite four-letter word? Chances are you've said it more than a few times dealing with this crazy world we live in. But at Compass Retirement Solutions, our four-letter word of choice is hope. Hope for a better tomorrow. And hope that your retirement plans don't take a back seat. You've watched inflation soar. And maybe your retirement